Joy 7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Jubilee Radio, Sun City Radio, Keta, Saboba FM, Saboba, and A1 Radio Bolgatanga. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, Electoral Commission dismisses allegations by opposition NDC that it is illegally inserting the name of an unqualified NPP candidate into the Assin North voters register. Also, Gender Minister to increase feeding grant to 1 city 20 pesos, but this fails to meet Caterer's desired rise of at least 3 cities.
The cost per meal, per child, per day has been proposed as 1 cedi, 20 pesos as we stand now.
We'll hear from the minister who assures that the government will pay off third term arrears by next week in business.
Government finalizes framework for possible takeoff of Financial Stability Fund next month. The details on the Joy Business Report.
And Perez Chapel declares one fast over Ajina Sari's Nogokbo controversy.
We believe that God is our helper. He is our rock. He's the one we look up onto.
And later, the Mighty has fallen from the competition, becoming the 4th contestant to drop the microphone in week 8 of Cues and Lyrics. I am Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Details shortly. To our first story, the Electoral Commission has dismissed allegations by the opposition NDC that it is illegally inserting the name of an unqualified NPP candidate into the Assin North voters register. A statement signed by the NDC Sami Jenfi had alleged this move was geared towards enabling one Charles Opoku participate in the NPP primaries and the Assin North by-election. The commission says the allegation is without merit. My colleague Joseph Akablay joins me with more. What are the details, Blay?
So the commission says all one needs to be qualified to contest such a poll is to be a Ghanaian, 21 and above, of sound mind and a registered voter. One does not need to be a registered voter at where he intends to contest. The commission asks that it has not received any such request for transfer from the MPP. The allegation is false and a figment of the author's imagination.
Well, the NPP has also issued a statement on this as well.
Yes, that statement is signed by Richard Ahiagba, Director of Communication, and parts of the statement indicates that the Electoral Commission of Ghana only requires a parliamentary candidate to make a statutory declaration to the effect that he or she is a registered voter simpliciter. Unlike the NDC, we are focused on selecting a qualified and capable candidate, one who carries no legal baggage like the NDC's Mr. James Jachi Kwesen, to represent the good people of Assin North. The MPP wishes to assure Ghanaians, particularly the people of Assin North, that it is committed to upholding and defending the 1992 Constitution.
Thank you, Joseph. Now, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has proposed a 20 pesos increase on the existing 1 cedi cost of lunch per child under the school feeding program for 2023. However, the increase falls short of the caterers' demands, which prompted their nationwide strike in April. The caterers were hoping to get at least 3 cedis per child to cushion them against the spike in food prices and inflation. But the Gender Ministry says it can only pay 1 cedi, 20 pesos. Listen to the Sector Minister, Larry Bazurera Abudu, at the Information Ministry Sunday.
The following cost per meal, per day, per child was increased from 8 pesos in 2016, 80 pesos, in 2016 to 1 cedi. Friends from the media, in 2023, the cost per meal, per child, per day has been proposed as 1 cedi, 20 pesos, as we stand now. 2023 academic year, the cost per meal, per child, per day has been proposed as 1 cedi, 20 pesos, as we stand now. And we are still in talks with the Ministry of Finance to see how best, if it can be reviewed, we will let you know. But as today, we are with 1 cedi, 20 pesos.
Well, Madam Larry Bazurera Abudu has also noted that government will pay the 2022 third term feeding arrears next week. Authorities seem unmoved by the enormous holes in the road that causes cars to jolt, but some young guys have offered to fill them up so they make a career. But have you considered that these young men might be praying against your efforts to get the roads fixed? In our second episode of Ghana Pothole Exhibition, features editor Jojo Kobna brings you some reasons why the government may not cover craters in the middle of the road.
A sudden sound of pothole symphony. When your vehicle joins the chorus, then be rest assured that a hole will be created in your bank account. Driving on pothole-riddled streets means you have to constantly drift off your lane. From afar, you start looking like a drunk, needlessly turning the steering wheel. If you're wondering why the government is not fixing your potholes,
I
pray for heavy rains so that the road would develop more potholes. I'll then come and fix them. I pray that government neglects the road. That is the only way I'll get money for my daily upkeep.
With so much passion fueled by hunger, he sometimes dangerously approaches drivers and sometimes weaves in between vehicles, begging for coins to put food on the table for his family. For 3 years, he has been filling these potholes with soil on the Iran Clinic stretch, not only for the driving comfort of drivers and passengers, but to eke out a living.
Features editor Jojo Kobna with that report. And the Ministry of Roads and Highways has begun educating communities about the impact of the largest motorway connecting 5 African nations. The Abidjan-Lagos Corridor Highway, estimated to cost $15 billion, is an ECOWAS project that will provide direct access to markets in Togo, Benin, Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire, facilitating free movement, enhancing tourism and manufacturing. Ghana will receive the longest portion of the 1,028-kilometer road, including tunnels beneath the Ibri Hills. Chris Apia, the ECOWAS Commission's Acting Director of Transport, Infrastructure, Energy and Digitalization, explains how the project will be funded.
We are looking at 2 main sources of financing. The ongoing financial strategy study is looking at the traffic and economic elements for the entire section and packaging or lotting the corridor into several packages to be presented to investors for financing. The African Development Bank is already considering putting together some financing from the sovereign wealth sources.
Meanwhile, the Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amokwata reveals that an education campaign to prepare communities impacted by the work has begun. Scores of church members from the Resurrection Power New Generation Church got injured after their bus and 3 other vehicles crashed on the Mensukrum-Wager Junction on the Accra-Kaswa Highway. Eyewitnesses alleged the driver of one of the vehicles, a Toyota Vitz, was driving recklessly under the influence of alcohol, leading to the accident. Here's some eyewitnesses who spoke to a sister station, Adum FM.
All of a sudden, it sounded like a car had smashed another car. Before we realized, the New Generation bus had crashed into the black car, alleged to belong to a policeman. And then his car crashed into another vehicle, which also smashed my taxi. It is the fault of the policeman. He was drunk. After a search in his car, we found alcohol and his uniform.
Perez Chapel International has declared a 1-week fast and prayers following the controversy between the church's founder, Archbishop Charles Agyinasare, and the chiefs and people of Nogokpo in the Volta region. The presiding bishop of Perez Chapel, Benjamin Ohene Abuaji, made the declaration on Sunday. The controversy surrounding Archbishop Agyinasare began on May 25 when he made a statement during a church service about the Nogokpo shrine.
I think all of us are not strangers in Ghana. Something that is trending on social media in other places. We, Perez Chapel, from the Executive Council, have taken recognition of all those things. And this is what we, from the Executive Council, is saying. We are declaring a 1-week fast from the 5th to the 11th.
You heard presiding Bishop of Paris Chapel International, Benjamin Ohene Abwaje. And now to Joy Prime's cues and lyrics. The mighty has fallen from the competition, becoming the fourth contestant to drop the microphone. He failed to impress the judges with his vocals when he performed his rendition of To Be a Man by Dax. Here are excerpts for Week 8's competition.
And it happens that mighty, you are the one who is leaving the show tonight.
Listen from the valley. People doesn't understand.
You have a voice. Sing with it. This chatting business has got to stop.
See a brother, give me blow, give me blow, give me blow, blow, blow.
Remember to catch the repeat of the show at 11 a.m. on Joy Prime. Cues and Lyrics is sponsored by Syntex Tank and the Ghana AIDS Commission. Cues and Lyrics bring on the music, and that's how we wrap up this morning's bulletin. In our top story, Electoral Commission dismisses allegation by opposition NDC that it is illegally inserting the name of an unqualified NPP candidate into their Synod voters register. I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Up next is Business on the Super Morning Show.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's Rickety car. Hey, Papa,
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
it is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that.
Yes, so
Somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine
Younger. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation Movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey,
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Okay. If I leave work now, I can beat traffic, get takeaways for dinner with the girls, and be on time to pick up Sam and his mom from the hospital. Proud to belong to APSA.
We know that life is go, 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 and that it's hard to make time for the things that really count. That's why with APSA's digital channels, you can bank when, where, and how you want, so you can focus on what or who is important to you. Get things done simply with our digital channels. That's Africanacity, that's APSA.
Life's battles during retirement are not won by the strongest. Sooner or later, those who win are those who prepare for it. Ensuring your future is your responsibility to your family and loved ones. Progress Trustees, a company that guarantees a cheerful life of retirement for both formal and informal sector workers. The Progress Occupational Pension Scheme, the Progress Provident Fund Scheme, and the Progress Personal Pension Scheme helps you achieve peace of mind during retirement. We also provide administration services for employer-sponsored schemes, including staff welfare schemes seeking to outsource their day-to-day administration of their second-tier occupational pension and third-tier provident fund scheme. Start your journey to envisage quality life during retirement by contacting us on 0504-368-048 on our website www.progresstrusteesgh.com. Progress Trustees, a joyous retirement begins here.
I sat up as the pleasant aroma wafted through the cracks in the door and into my living space. Whatever it was, smelled heavenly. I felt my palates open up to receive this very welcome guest. I mean, I had to taste. And as I rolled it around in my mouth, I realized I just loved the texture. And just like that, it was down my throat and giving my body life. I wanted more. Lily Rice does that to me every single time. Thanks, baby, for cooking today.
You're welcome. And as we continue to enjoy our favorite rice, Lily reminds us to observe all COVID-19 safety protocols because COVID-19 is around. Lily, tasty food, happy family.
This advert is FDA approved.
When you are born from Ghanaian soil, you are born rich. Rich in who you are, with natural Guinean richness inspired by Mother Nature herself. Just like our premium water, with natural minerals that creates pure premium mineral water, made right here by the same Ghanaian soil that made you. Voltic, own your richness. Voltic, a product of the Coca-Cola Company. This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, that be the sound you hear when things make hot. I'm sure this is not battery, just cash flow. Laja no day. It is safe to say we are all facing challenging times. We are all wondering how we are going to lighten our financial burdens. Nowhere cool, but don't worry. With a little help from your trusted bank, Societe Generale Ghana, be fine. Societe Generale Ghana is making all its customers happy with the Yatiso Loans promo. In fact, SG Ghana customers and even non-customers who are on the controller and accountant general payroll can enjoy access to our amazing discount loans. Don't waste time. Get your loan today. Step into a branch or call 0302-214-314 to get the ball rolling. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, promotion ends on 7th August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
You worry, just be happy. Don't you worry.
Our favorite counterfeit song. Very nice. I have good weekend.
Yeah, I had a good weekend.
Yeah, good.
Lots of activities. Climax with a detective calls.
You did what?
A detective calls. Joe Quay's play directed by Joe Quay. I went to watch at the National Theatre.
Thought you said something else. But yes, I hear that's a great, fantastic. I missed it again this weekend.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
I know he was looking forward to seeing you guys there.
Oh, he's going to kill me. He's really going to kill me. Because I promised, I told him I will be there, hook or crook.
Oh, boy.
And then I got carried out of town.
Yeah, it was a great one. Intriguing from beginning to end.
Goodness.
So, congratulations to the team.
George Quay is going to have my head. and rightly so. This time around, I have no excuse. I mean, oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. But I'm glad it went well.
It went well.
It's a fantastic production.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right, I'm just gonna have to try and catch the next Image Bureau production and hope George doesn't actually catch me in a quiet corner before then. All right. So today we're talking about the lights.
The lights.
Yeah. So not so long ago there was some small problem with gas, and then suddenly we were having doomsday, and people were scared.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is this. I mean, you've heard what Pierre Laporte, and I almost called him Juan Laporte. Boxing fans, good morning. You heard what Pierre Laporte, the World Bank country manager for Ghana, said about our, energy sector, power to be precise, and the huge debt we owe to the independent
1.58 billion.
It's actually probably bigger than that because that was at last check in 2022. That was when it was 1.58 billion.
Hey.
So if you go and check today, I am pretty sure we are getting close to 2 billion.
Wow.
And you see the way the thing is working here. We signed these take or pay agreements with them.
The power purchases.
That's right. So whether we come to you for power or not, we are paying you a certain amount.
Power we don't use sometimes.
Indeed. So even when we don't come to them, as long as their machines are working, they are ready to produce power, and we don't come, we still pay them something close to $15-16 million every month.
And that's money we can't afford.
Each of them, and there are a bunch of them, every month. So you see how the debt has been compounding, and we are paying something like 95% capacity charge. That means if their capacity is 200 megawatts, we are paying for 95% of 200 megawatts every month, whether we come to them or not. So you just think about 92%. So let's say 200 megawatts is their capacity. That means we are coming to them we're paying them for 184 megawatts every single month, whether we come to them for power or not.
How was this decision reached? I'm just wondering, for those who, negotiate these contracts, it makes you wonder, what
is it that made them decide this is a good idea?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So
and also we have to ask, well, because we had an emergency situation at the time, right?
Yeah.
So did the IPPs also take advantage of us? Is that what happened? Did they look at us and say, look at these guys,
they need help.
Uh-huh.
They have no
Is
choice.
that what happened? Okay, so now we are paying all these huge amounts every month, whether we come to them for power or not. And we've got to the point where we can't afford. But they are giving us an ultimatum, right? And they have the legal right to do so because we signed on the dotted line. We said we will pay them whether we come or not for power. So now they say by the end of this month, if we don't pay about 20% of what we owe them, fine, they go quench the lights.
We know what Doomsaw is. Nobody likes that experience. Nobody likes that experience.
Just to bear in mind that the combined installed capacity of these IPPs is about half of Ghana's installed capacity. Yeah. About half. That's what John Mahama meant when he said the fastest mobilization of emergency power in the history of the world, or of Ghana or whatever, the record he was boasting of. This is what it was. Okay?
Wow.
So today we are going to talk to, well, first of all, we're going to talk to those who were around when the deal was signed. We're also going to talk to those who are around today, running things today, who are not paying the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll find out what on earth is going on.
And
why.
there's a need for reform, so we should discuss that as well going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, wahala and headache. Anyway. On a happier note, we are so grateful that Total Energies, Total, we go the extra mile for you, and Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done, brought us the 6 a.m. news. And we're even more grateful because we're about to have the Joy Business Report. Thanks to Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up, government finalizes framework for possible takeoff of Financial Stability Fund next month. Also, government overturns recent undersubscription of treasury bills to record about 15% oversubscription of its targeted amount, but at a higher cost. We'll tell you about it. Also, Ghana Union of Traders Association hints of engaging government to review the 3 revenue tax measures and the COVID-19 levy in the mid-year budget. Details coming up. My name is Darrell Kwa. Thanks for being with us this morning. Government has finished putting together the framework that will guide the operationalization of the Financial Stability Fund from next month. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons knowledgeable of the fund's workings. Here's more in this report.
Joy Business understands that this framework was needed to help secure the required support from the country's donors, so as those that have pledged to assist the Stability Fund, like the $250 million from the World Bank, as well as another support coming from the African Development Bank. It was also needed to guide the operations of the fund, that is, which institution or persons should administer the fund going forward. Also, how can banks and financial institutions that need support draw from the fund? Government is targeting to raise about $1 billion for the Financial Stability Fund. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta recently told Joy Business that the remaining funds will be provided by government. The Finance Minister is looking at using the fund to deal with solvency and liquidity support for the commercial banks and other financial institutions that were hit badly by the shocks with the recent domestic debt exchange program. Government believes that it will be able to use this fund to stabilize the banking and financial sectors going forward.
Georgia Phil with that report. The World Bank is rejecting criticisms that it contributed to Ghana's current debt and economic crisis. Ghana is currently classified as a debt-distressed country. However, some have argued that the failure of the World Bank to halt the country's excessive borrowings has brought the country to this new level and the present economic challenges. But Country Director of the World Bank, Pierre Laporte, disagrees.
Because our projects that we bring are very long-term concessional lending, okay? And for instance, Ghana as a low-middle-income country, it borrows at terms that are mostly, actually they are concessional, okay, over 35% grant element, long-term 35, 40 years. We have a few windows now that are less concessional, but this is at the discretion of governments. But in the overall scheme of things, we don't do lending that gets country in trouble.
You had Pierre Laporte there, country director of the World Bank. Now, a senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, says the World Bank's decision to review the future use of its financial guarantee for Ghana's borrowings should not be seen as an attack on the sovereignty of the country. The Bretton Woods institution has disclosed it might undertake such an exercise to put the country's borrowings in check, a move expected to scrutinize the country's rising debt level. Now, speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Amwa said the World Bank's aim is to ensure the fund is used for its intended purpose.
This is absolutely necessary, and in a typical lender-borrower relationship, you want to have your conditionalities or what is known as covenants in place, because you want to make sure that the borrower, in this case Ghana, will have genuine purpose for the funds, and the purpose for which the funds are being acquired will be used exactly as enshrined in the request for the facility.
Dr. Benjamin Amwa, the senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Now, government overturned its recent undersubscription of treasury bills to record about 15% oversubscription of its targeted amount. However, that came at a higher cost as interest rates continue to surge on the yield curve. Here's more.
According to the figures from the Bank of Ghana, the government got about 2.4 billion cedis from the T-bills auction across the 91-day and the 182-day. Once again, chunk of the bid came from the 91-day bill. A little over 1.59 billion cedis were tendered by the investors for the 3-month financial instrument. The government accepted over 99% of the bids. For the 182-day T-bill, about 860 million cedis were tendered by the investors, largely the banks. All bids were subsequently accepted. Meanwhile, interest rates continue to surge. The 91-day T-bill shot up by 0.36% to 21.15%, whilst the 182-day T-bill also went up by 23.93% from 23.62% the previous week. Again, analysts and market watchers are worried about the rising cost of T-bills as government is still restructuring its debt.
In other news this morning, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, says it will pursue government to review the 3 tax measures passed and the COVID-19 levy in the mid-year budget. According to the union, businesses are struggling to survive due to the high taxes and on utility tariffs as well. They contend the IMF is against suppressing growth of the private sector, hence will intensify engagement to have the taxes reviewed in the mid-year budget. Dr. Joseph Obeng is president of GUTA.
We have to be cautious and then make sure that we do not spoil. That's why we do not overly agitate over the trade taxes. But now that the IMF deal has gone through, we'll still pursue government and dialogue with government so that at least in the mid-year budget we can make some revisions so that businesses can also have respite. We believe that any proposal that we give to IMF, because they do not seek the destruction of businesses, we can still go on the table, discuss with IMF to see how some of these taxes will be lowered to pushing the businesses in the country.
President of GUTA there, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Chartered accountants have been admonished to take advantage of technology and data analytics for a competitive advantage within the profession. According to country managing partner at accounting and auditing firm Deloitte, Daniel Owusu, the accountant of the future needs to be technologically savvy in order to evolve with the changing industry. He spoke at the 41st graduation and admission ceremony of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana held in Accra.
As accounting professionals, you can either plan for change or be pushed out. We need to increase our knowledge and use of technology. Undoubtedly, the accountant of the future will need to be technologically savvy.
The 41st graduation and admission ceremony of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, which is the second in 2023, awarded certificates to graduates who successfully completed the Institute's qualifying examinations in December 2022 and March 2023. Rose Bewa and Charles Denchi Jr. emerged overall best level 3 graduating candidates for both diets, respectively. Now, Farm Milk PLC is optimistic it will consolidate its gains in 2022 despite a difficult economic environment. The ice cream manufacturer recorded a 15% year-on-year growth in revenue last year. That's according to its 2022 annual report. Now, speaking at the company's 62nd annual general meeting, Chief Executive Yeo Ziobiton said that despite the company going through a tremendous period of change as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, it was able to hold the fort by expanding its income.
To share with you some of the increases and implications in terms of pricing, we saw, for example, the skim milk powder, which is one of our key ingredients, price increasing almost 50%. Sugar went up 71%. The palm kernel 66%, and so on and so forth. In that context, you'll be wondering, how did we perform? Did we manage once again to make lemonade out of the challenges that we faced, out of the lemon that we got? Well, I am happy to say that at least from a revenue point of view, we were able to hold the fort and grow our revenue by 15%, adding more than 68 million Ghana cedis to what we delivered in the year 2021.
Meanwhile, chairman of the company, Charles Mens, has made a passionate appeal to government to implement measures to stabilize the city to enable businesses function with certainty. Now, PepsiCo, in partnership with Transmed Ghana Limited, has launched the new series Nectar range of juices in Ghana. According to the commercial lead of PepsiCo East, West, and Central Africa, Isabel Kotza, consumers would have additional uncompromising choices at a broader range of affordability. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch.
So as a company, we pride ourselves in trying to create smiles with every sip and every bite as a company. And I think with the series Nectar, already with the series 100% in the market, you do get that. But with the series Nectar effect, hashtag, you do get that additional smile that we do put into the market and being true to our values and our brand.
Isabel Costa, the commercial lead of PepsiCo East, West, and Central Africa. Let's turn to the stock market. Shares of Guinness, Ghana Breweries, and Farm Milk are expected to rise this week on the stock market. Let's hear from Grace Munayum of Data Bank Research on how your investments will fare.
The stock market indices plunged last week as trading activities closed negatively on 3 price declines. The Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index retreated to a year-to-date gain of 2.92%, while the Data Bank Stock Index staggered at a 6.34% year-to-date loss. On price movement, Benso Palm Plantation retrieved 1 cedi 11 pesos to end the week at 14 cedis 11 pesos. Unilever Ghana advanced by 16 pesos to 6 cedis 24 pesos, whereas Guinness Ghana clawed back 11 pesos to 1 cedi 67 pesos. In contrast, Societe Generale, MTN Ghana, and SIC Insurance all shared a peso to end the week. Additionally, New Gold gained 33 cedis 80 pesos to 221 Ghana cedis. Based on observed market demand, we anticipate that the prices of Guinness Ghana and Farm Milk will rise this week. For Joy Business Reports, Grace Munanyun of Data Bank Research.
Thanks, Grace. Let's check the markets as we wrap up this morning. Beginning with the currency market, the dollar going for 11 cedis 75 pesos on the forex or retail market. The pound going for 14 cedis 50 pesos, and the euro selling at 12 cedis 45 pesos on the commodity market. Crude oil selling this morning at $77 a barrel after going up marginally. Gold lost more than $3 to open trading at $1,944 an ounce. Cocoa open trading at $3,026 a ton after adding $18. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Carl. Thanks for listening. The Super Morning Show continues with Kojo Yankson. Do stay tuned, Kojo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Today we're talking power.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm quite glad that we're going to have the chance to speak to those who signed the deal and those who are currently superintending these deals, because some of them expired and got renewed by this government. I mean, they renewed them.
Yeah.
So we have to ask ourselves, if you've been complaining that the previous government signed bad deals,
why did you
renew them? Okay, all of these.
Or they lacked options.
Well, maybe that's it. We'll hear from them We hear all the explanations. Today, dear, we deserve it. And also, we need to know how the future will unfold.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I've got a good one for you here. 121 Sailor. You know them?
No.
Okay. I've been told to play this one for you. It's called Incredible. Hopefully, it's incredible.
Hopefully.
It's our inspirational song. Brought to us by Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC pipes and water tank. Where Duraplast goes, water flows. Akwafu, have a nice one.
You too.
That's our inspirational song. Hello, Ray.
Hello.
I like your shirt. I'm very well. And I mean, every time I want to know how your wife is doing, I just look at what you are wearing, and I know she's fine. She's alive and well and fulfilling her mandate on earth of making you presentable, among other things.
How are you doing once again?
As for me, I'm fine.
Everything is okay.
I'm okay.
Everybody's at home.
Yeah,
I like the energy with which you have started this day.
Let's wrap up.
Oh, the man is running away from the conversation.
Conversation.
Anyway,
honorable gentleman, you cannot run away from the conversation.
Nobody has
Don't
called
start
you
what you cannot finish. Otherwise, I'll play the level song for you.
Yeah. And for those of us who do not,
which is soon to be a hit.
I actually woke up. Around 1 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. and I saw Selema Babio, the oceanographer, having sent me that song, and he said, for your non-ever speakers, this is the interpretation. So, today, I'm sure by now,
I think what somebody should do is put the translation.
Subtitles underneath. Yes. That would be great.
Yeah, that would help a lot of people. I appreciate you fully.
Yes. But that song will soon be a smash hit because in just a few hours, it's been shared so many times.
Yeah.
I've received it from at least 8 or 9 different
very good
sources. So, yeah, it's going well.
Yes.
But anyway, it's good to be back together Monday morning. And Sammy's birthday, right? Sammy Odami's birthday.
He's wearing, is that color pink or something?
Salmon. That's what I was told. It's not pink.
It's what?
Salmon.
Salmon.
Anyway, let's get into our drive safe campaign.
These kissing people will come and cause problems here.
Today is actually my nephew's birthday too.
Oh, I see.
Ato Aminando.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. I was at the University of Cape Coast when he was born. How old is he today? He turns 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today is the birthday of one of my very good friends. I'll talk about it later because it has to come with a story.
Okay.
So later. Right now, the Drive Safe campaign.
Campaign brought to us by Joy News and the Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Superior Quality. So avoid all distractions, keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible, drive with your lights on at night, and that's how you drive safe.
Now this is how you say it right, brought to you by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks. It's also brought to you by Societe Generale Bank Ghana. The future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
I'm quite hungry this morning. I'm sure it's the excitement about Sammy Odami's birthday that has occasioned this early morning famishment. Now, I'm also sure that you've heard people use the word occasioned. Occasion can be a verb just as much as a noun. Now, as a verb, it means caused to happen. It does not mean happened. For example, you can't say Mary's dismissal occasioned on Monday. The correct way to use occasioned would be failure to meet sales targets occasioned Mary's dismissal on Monday. Simply put, as a verb, occasion is about what caused the occasion, not the occasion itself. And now we can all say it right. Happy birthday, Sammy. I hope this special day occasions some cake. There we go. Now, so just before the news review brought to us by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different, let's get a quick wrap of what transpired on Newsfile. And the big topic there was the Domolevu judgment, and lots of views shared on it. You're going to hear the voices of Martin Kpebu. You will also hear from the former Deputy Attorney General
Joseph
Kpemka, Dindiok Kpemka. You hear from Inusa Fuseni and Dr. Tony Edu. Let's listen.
I'm just so overwhelmed by what they've done. Yeah, so every says so what, and we are grateful to their lordships. Okay, so I'll do middle of the road. Yes, you see that going forward, the decision is landmark because it's beginning to chart a new path. Impliedly, it's going to affect all the other six. So if we mention, so we are looking at, apart from the Auditor General, we have the Judicial Service, we have the Lands Commission, Almighty EC, the National Media Commission, BOG that couldn't hold that was spineless, and last year, financed the government with about $40 billion, which helped to spike inflation. So this decision too will help BOG in its independence.
And I think that this is a good case where we should hold the president responsible. So anytime the president takes an action, and the action is found to be unconstitutional or in violation of some law in this country, it means he has breached his oath. He must be subject to impeachment. He must suffer the penalty for that. He must suffer until we begin to hold our presidents responsible, accountable, and not give excuses for their acts of impunity. Then we are not going to make progress.
Is the test not willfulness in the conduct?
There's no willfulness.
And so if President guides governance, and His Excellency the President in his judgment wrote this particular letter and said proceed on leave, and which has now been declared to be unconstitutional. And at the time of writing the letter, His Excellency the President was exercising his executive power, which is given to him by the Constitution. And he did it knowing very well in him that what he was doing was right and in consonance and on all fours with the Constitution, which has later been declared null and void. Are you able to establish that at the time of writing this particular letter and asking the person to proceed on leave, the president was deliberate and willful and knew that what he was doing was unconstitutional and went ahead to do it.
How and at what
Are you able
point?
to establish that?
Obviously, the Supreme Court has come to judgment when time has rendered the matter consequentially functus, so far as Domelego's right is concerned. And in fact, in several aspects of the matter relating to public interest.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
There you go. Lots of interesting thoughts shared there. It's been a while since we heard from Dr. Tony Edu. It's good to hear.
It was interesting. I like the Shakespeare reference, Merchant of Venice. We have read things in this life.
We have. We have written exams on some things.
Merchant of Venice.
Anyway, let's get into the newspapers.
Yes.
Let me start with the Daily Graphic. It's reporting this morning. New curricular implementation. Give us textbooks. Educational heads cry out to GS and the ministry and is moving to resolve the challenges. So these are municipal, district director of education and head teachers of some of the basic schools, specifically in the central region, who are quite worried about the lack of textbooks in the various schools. I don't know why they should get the textbooks now, since it's obvious they are getting what they call the tablets pretty soon. And I listened to a very interesting conversation about putting tablets in our various schools, basic schools, on Geek Squad. And it was a very, very nice one. The dynamics involved. Well, I think policy implementers in the Republic of Ghana, who mostly will not share the policy document with everybody before they implement it. When it goes bad, they'll call us into a meeting. If you ask them for review, still, they'll be fighting you. They should hear all other sides. They should share with all of us what is the policy document underpinning this particular decision so that we can go forward. Because it sounds a bit, you can't provide textbooks, but you can provide tablets. All of this part ought to be properly clarified, like these people are demanding. Well, we understand that some books have some of the textbooks anyway.
You see, Raymond, you're very right. You can't provide textbooks, you want to provide laptops. Not a bad idea. But again, we must see the policy. Because, I wouldn't be surprised if in future we come back and complain about electricity, for instance.
Yeah.
Because all these students are using their, laptops or tablets and they have to charge them. We would find excuses all the time.
Yeah, look.
Some time ago, there was reference to people charging mobile phones when it comes to power problems.
So look, we need to debate this as a nation, discuss it, and come to a conclusion that this is what we want to do. And then we are good to go.
I completely agree. Because the truth is, even those who, are criticizing this suggestion, if it would work, we would all be happy. Who doesn't want their child? So it's important. It's important for government to take the pains to open the conversation and explain that this is how we intend to do it. For people to bring their feedback that, okay, well, this won't work. Maybe try that. So that in the end, whatever is done actually works. Right? So, yeah, we don't have textbooks, but you say we can provide, laptops. All right. Well, possibly it could be that the textbooks are written, just not printed. So they are there. Electronic copies are there.
Oh, okay.
But a laptop is a store of power. A store of power is helpful anywhere in the world. So even in places where power supply is poor, if you have a device that can store power, it's a good thing. But we want to know how. Then let's get the detail so that we can all assess it and give feedback and see if indeed our kids can benefit from this.
Yes, you were talking about this, but let me give this very interesting example. I went to a national lab in Sandia, a U.S. national lab, because the U.S. plans on going electric cars all through. The entire job of that national lab is to determine how the national grid is going to fit into that plan. What will be the pressure from everybody charging their electric cars in the nearest future on it? Hopefully, when we make some of these policies, we have others who are working around the clock to make sure that it doesn't cause problems in other areas anyway. But there's another story about SMEs Clinic and Fair. Access Bank lends 504 million to 170,000 businesses. And that's good news, right? In these times, it should be wonderful. And anthrax rears ugly head, kills one person in Upper East. Okay, well, that's what they're saying, right? KNUST rated first in world ranking for quality. And there's something I wrote on Facebook. I mean, I'm not saying that ranking is a terrible thing to do, but sometimes when we engage in some of these, which can be akin to comparisons in mediocrity, we should be careful.
Okay.
People are doing proper research that's taking up money, research properly funded, research that's ensuring development, planning the future of their countries. While we sit here, and
let's
we
get to
are dabbling in what we cannot spend. In fact, the entire continent constitutes just 1% of the research that the world actually outputs.
Yes, I mean,
you should be worried about that.
A lot on research.
Yes.
And the largest population of young people, like the whole of the future of the world, majority of it is focused in this country, and we are doing no research.
That's what I've seen with my eyes.
In this continent,
I get worried
sorry.
when, well, anyway.
Well, the daily guide for this morning says Uforiacha hits Captain Smart with 10 million Ghana cedi suit. Mohammed's PPA's dished economy. That's according to the World Bank. I'm sure you know that story. We'll talk about that particular issue later on the show. Volta Basin Project Hope of Northern Region Yana. And NPP serial endorsers pop up. So if you are interested in this story, now 2 persons, okay, the daily guide gives their names. Let me just get their names. 2 persons, that is Mohammed Bawa, who is research officer, and Abdullah Shadu, who's Nasara coordinator of the Karaga constituency, actually went to endorse Dr. Owusu Efri Akoto. And then from there, they also went ahead and endorsed Francis Adainimu.
The same day.
The same day. In fact,
well, they had spare time.
They were wearing the same clothes.
They change their minds very quickly.
They had some time on their hands.
So the story says that serial endorsers. So we now have endorsement-preneurs.
Yes.
They're using the endorsement, as a way of also getting something small. And you remember what Hackman Owusu-Ajman said on Friday when I spoke with him? He said, look, sometimes when he was contesting, I asked him did he believe he was going to win? He said, yes, the delegates will give you all the assurance. Do you now understand why people that we can all see are not part of the race believe that they will win? People that all of us know. I mean, majority of Ghanaians know.
I think that the 2 will be blacklisted. I mean, of all...
but they will vote.
Yes, I know, but in this business...
But you see...
Yeah, when they go to any other candidate, they say, no, please, you have already pledged your vote to somebody else.
In 2007, Arthur Kennedy had 1 vote.
Yeah.
Now, KSM after that had this joke that everybody, some people went to Arthur Kennedy and said, "Man, I'm here 1 person, I'm tomorrow. No, I was the only one who voted for you. I was the only one who voted for you." Yeah. That's become our nature when it comes to politics. And so people today, if you ask some young ones, they tell you that they want to be delegates. They want to be delegates because why? Because they believe they're going to get something. It's also because today these people are actually, paying in some instances for people to endorse them. In some instances, they're motivating people to support their campaign. And so here we are deceiving ourselves that by having an electoral college that comprises polling station executives, you would do away with vote buying. You have only increased the cost that these people spend.
That's true.
In order to become flag bearer. Do you now understand when they get into office, they believe that they've already done the job? And so the next
they are here for the reward.
They are in for the reward. And so they need to then amass as much wealth as possible, determine what it is that you would need in order to vote for them, do that for you, and come back and ask you to vote for them. Because for them, it is not the rules that they would construct that would let you vote for them. Okay? It's actually what they give to you. I end on this note. Once upon a time, a member of parliament, somebody complained he had done nothing. And he said, but you came to me that I should help you learn how to drive. And he said, yes, but if you paid for me to go and learn how to drive and didn't buy me a car, what have you done for me? You paid for me to go and learn how to drive. I was hoping that you would buy me a car.
The member of parliament paid.
Yes, he said he wanted to learn how to drive. Wow. And the MP paid for him to go and learn how to drive. And then came back and said, MP Onyameshe, but you're the one I paid to go and learn how to drive. I said, but when you pay for me to go and learn how to drive and you don't buy me a car, what have you done for me?
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
So all this wisdom about give a man a fish And you feed him fish. You teach a man to fish. No. It doesn't apply.
So I have to provide the pond, the entire pond. Anyway, now the finance reporting this morning. ECG commenced special ice company for prompt bills payment. And there's NPA in pounds, 181,000 liters of smuggled fuel in the Western region. Dr. Koto will cause an upset to win NPP primary. This is his campaign team. That is Wata's campaign team.
I see.
Workaholic Akoto tops all.
So they themselves, they know that if they are candidate wins, it will be an upset.
Yes, he said you cause the upset. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, and Mohammed's power
so they want to upset us.
Expensive. And $937.5 million paid in 4 years for power not consumed, and major contributor to Ghana's debt woes. And that's also the front page of the Finder newspaper. We sure will be going to this later, right?
No doubt. All right, the online review now, brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest, and Goyle, good energy.
So what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop up anywhere? Don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be part. Now, Goyle's Super SP 195 and Diesel SP are the best quality fuel with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goyle Super SP 195 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as the normal fuel. And Goyle Diesel XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yeah, dear.
Right now, if you're looking for a bank that understands you and puts your financial needs first, well, don't look too far. Zenith Bank is your bank of choice. Now, they've got products tailor-made for you. So it doesn't matter who you are, young, old, entrepreneur, student, salaried worker, corporate entity, SME, pensioner, parent, Ghanaian resident abroad, foreigner resident in Ghana. At Zenith Bank, everyone can bank with them. Join the Zenith family today for an unrivaled banking experience. Talk to them on 0302 680 884. You can try 0307 086 370 or send an email to info@zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Check out my journal online for all the big stories. Right now, though, it's time for the BBC News.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Want to feel energized for more? Fuel up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle. Our high grade fuel comes at no extra cost, but with more power. And our Diesel XP, it's low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. Experience high performance and quality with our products. Available everywhere. Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Good energy.
The packaging, plastics, printing, and food processing industries come together at ProPack Ghana Exhibition and Conference. From the 6th to the 8th of June 2023, ProPack Ghana will provide the perfect platform for you to connect and network with over 2,500 key local and international industry members and visitors, and more than 100 brands showcasing their latest products and services. Venue, Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center. Find the solutions for your supply chain and meet all the key stakeholders. Visit www.propackghana.com to register today.
This is a bank. First First Atlantic Bank, a shiny purple star to brighten up my day. First Atlantic Bank, professionally different services all day long. First Atlantic Bank, and it feels so cool. I know this is where I belong. Come on, everybody, this is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank, follow me, let's go now. Let's go, let's bank. This is a bank like no other. Let's bank. This is a bank like no other. Let's bank. This is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank.
First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
Service, the world's radio station.
People are interested in the flag bearership race of the NPP.
Helps boost that lady's confidence, and it helps like boost my self-esteem as a woman.
Some females can't do anything. They believe that their value is their beauty, and therefore they have to enhance it in order to get the men that they desire.
They do it to attract men because men like to see nice body shapes, like curvy women. They like it.
Raymond, Francis Adainimo, former member of Parliament for Mampong. All picking up forms to
advice.
contest. Well, the whole reality is that out of this 10 or so, 5 will not be making it to the Congress proper or the conference proper. I don't know who the 5 would be, but if you were to ask me, I'm sure everybody knows that Kojo Poku will not make it.
I think for the person involved,
he will not make
what will make her
super delegates,
and then
right?
one can really not fight it that much.
Several factors will come to play.
That go into this.
In all fairness,
sometimes not only
even though I've
other
not seen the
people,
kind of work he has done on the ground,
you get my point.
I'm
right?
excited that
So
somebody
if
of his
our
age is
men
in the
today
race and
who are spending all
picked
their
up
time
a
in the
form.
gym, building muscles and demanding to get.
I do not want the number to get to
because
17.
they want to meet a certain standard.
Or even this
I know
thing,
you and I don't qualify by that criteria.
Quite obviously worried about
that's
what
if you
they're
don't see
thinking.
people act like they don't understand.
Resources,
See, people do things for varied
the campaign
reasons.
going
We
into
can presume
it
that
may
health,
suggest
why you want to get
expectation.
healthy, so
And
yeah, you have to exercise and all of that.
Because
but
we are
some
serious
do it
financial
beyond the
crisis.
healthy part.
If it
to get
continues that way, people will think,
wonderful
oh
system
yeah,
so
they've
that
made
they
enough
can
money to
influence
do
a
some of these things.
appeal.
My expectation
So,
are some of the people they know
self-worth,
deep within their
connection
hearts
to
that
body
even if the race is not
outlook.
constituted
You get my
in
point?
3 tiers,
Yeah, I get
they will
you.
not be in
That
the 10th tier.
self-worth and connection to body outlook
Yeah,
is what drives some of these things. But
I don't know,
also
but
something we
it's
should
still
call
political.
out.
Oh, that's patience.
Which individuals are you talking
Obsession.
about? Is there
As
any
if everybody is
think
being forced
don't make
into
it to
that
the
area.
10th tier?
There are some
Check
people,
TikTok
they've slept
videos.
for
You see some
20
of them,
so many
right? I mean,
years.
you've seen this
It
video
only
where
came out
a
because
gentleman is
they have been in the
asking
race
a woman that he's
before.
gotten some
Is it
money.
Dr.
A woman's
Kuku?
asking a gentleman, what should
Mention
the
their
money?
names.
He says he's gotten some money.
Kuku has been very
What?
busy
Oh,
at
so
the
she wants to buy
headquarters.
some new cars and start a transportation or ride hailing business. Then the guy says, no, don't do that. Use it to do a backlift. If you do the backlift, you eventually will get more money from that.
I mean, but
backlift,
yes,
which
I mean,
business
see,
will
some
it
of
be?
the people,
And
it's not
you see
it's
how
not a magic one.
there were
Nobody can
times
convince
on
them
Ghanaian TV
that they are
where
in any
women
way
were
preferred.
paraded.
The people who
where
wanted them to
women
be,
were
they are no longer
basically
MPP
made.
delegates.
So women
Yeah.
with
The
very
people wanted them to be
elevated
in
gluteus muscles
2007. They are
were
either
very
retired or they are
much
not
paraded
not very
as the
active people in the
standard should be
NPP
looking
today.
out for.
I mean, can the same not be said
That
of
and other
candidates
things
like
influence the thinking.
Oh.
I mean,
In
because
fact, there are videos even today, not very old videos, even today,
similar work
where
or
people say,
arrangement.
oh, when
You
they
should do
see
a
that
similar
part of the body that's
engagement
elevated,
like Chairman
they are
Tianko have been
extremely
doing.
happy.
And show
When
you
we
the
do
numbers.
these things, we are
I mean, for that one, clearly to
sending
do-
a
the way
signal.
you-
Yeah, so
to
I
a
mean,
generation
what-
that
so who is
if you
informing
don't
this
have
decision?
them,
And it's
in
not
the
as if you are going any
proportions that we
younger or you
very
be preferred
elegant.
at age
You need
80
to get
or
it,
90
or you're
or
not part
whichever.
of a certain standard of
And I'm
beauty.
saying
because
that's how
beauty
terrible
standards
politics happen.
change.
So you're
It
suggesting that
sometimes takes a
society
certain
is
face.
actually
The face is
force
changed,
behind
and
this.
that's what
If it's
happens
not
anyway.
conscious, it's
Well, who
subconscious.
said that
There's
John
a certain
Dramani Mahama
deliberate
was in the lead
attempt
up to the
to
NDC
force women to be
leadership somewhere around
remolded into a certain thing.
But Raymond, there's a lot of conversation about CISPAC. But that has not forced you to get into CISPAC.
Yeah,
Within
because my
2
self-worth
decades,
is not connected
a lot
to my
of
body
things change in a
mass.
political party.
So it's not
if you were
everybody that comes to the same
popular,
determination.
If
do you get my point?
If at the
I
time,
would want to reduce pot belly because it's not healthy. That's the only reason.
It was the Akuma.
But I will not be in the quest to get six pack to influence anybody's decision.
People in this country, but things change. Some of these
this
people
morning
should
we're having
just
this
for God's sake
all-important
drop out.
conversation.
If they
All
did not
important
drop out,
conversation because in the
they
past
do
it started
not-
with toning.
I'm afraid of
We used
the
to say
signals it
skin bleaching. We
sends.
said, no, it was
Many
toning.
people campaigning, many people deemed to be doling out cars, many people deemed, because in
Then
this
we went
country
to
there are
the,
no
you know,
limits
the
on how much you can
job
spend in the
heads,
campaign.
the
So
Brazilian
in these times, people will feel that, oh, they've got money.
2019.
And that was used
The
against the
study
NPP
concluded
in
that this is
2007.
not worldwide,
Plenty.
but in most developed
It's the reason why they brought out the super delegate structure. But even they had to campaign before super delegates.
And Apreku lost the. He didn't make the top 5 in
4-year period.
So what makes him convinced?
He and Asabi.
Yes,
Yeah,
they couldn't make it.
So what makes him convinced?
So why is he convinced he's going to make it this
Helps
time
boost
around?
that lady's confidence and it helps like boost my self-esteem as a woman.
Some females haven't been able to do anything and they believe that their value is their beauty and therefore they have to enhance it in order to get the men that they desire.
They do it to attract men because men like to see nice body shapes, like curvy women. They like
idea of political participation is the fact that people should be allowed to contest. So at a personal level, people must know, do the analysis closely and know that whether it is worth participating in the first place.
Because
unless
I
perhaps
believe
they are
Except if
getting
they are
some.
being used.
Yes, I mean, obviously because you are using money. So unless you are getting some financing from some place to do push some agenda that not all of us can see at this point in time, it's very difficult to understand why some of them are contesting. And it's, the form should be open for a while. They are picking all the way to almost end of June. So it means that there is the potential that we may go beyond the 17 that we saw, or 16 that we saw some years back.
If you're using calculation based on data and numbers, right? But, I mean, you know the potential numbers. So I don't think we'll go beyond that. But it still sends a very terrible signal. Just
because they want to meet a certain standard.
I mean, that's the core of it anyway.
We don't qualify
how we do it. I mean,
if you don't issue the criteria, people act like they don't. See, people do things.
I think maybe we'll see the actual numbers.
Our good friend,
yeah, you have to exercise and all of that. But some people beyond the healthy part to get wonderful six packs so that they can influence a certain appeal. So self-worth, connection to body outlook. Do you get my point?
Still tell them
I get you. That self-worth and connection to body outlook is what drives some of these things.
Agenda.
But there is also something we should call out. An
insane
obsession.
Well,
as if everybody's being forced into that area.
Somebody like
check TikTok videos.
Francis Adainimo, he's always had that intention of becoming
president. Today,
a woman that is gotten some money. A woman's asking
No, he will not win.
He has gotten some money.
He will not win the primary.
Why does Adainimo think he sources his delegates from?
A transportation or right.
But the point is that
then the guy says, no, don't do that.
Does he really want to be president?
If you do the bat lift,
or he wants to be minister in the next MPP
business would it be for?
And the route is to
you see how
elevate your negotiation.
The thing about participating
women were paraded.
That you automatically become a stakeholder.
Yes, become a stakeholder.
So women
if they are qualified for negotiation,
for many who feel they've been sidelined.
That and other things influence their thinking. In fact, there are videos even today, not very old videos, even today.
And coming from
where people say, "Oh, when they see that party that's elevated, they are extremely happy." When we do these things, we are subconsciously sending a signal to a generation that if you don't have them in the proportions that we deem very elegant, you need to get it or you are not part of a certain standard of beauty because beauty standards change.
So you're suggesting that society is actually the force behind this.
If it's not conscious, it's subconscious. There's a certain deliberate attempt to force men to be remolded into a certain thinking.
But Raymond, there's a lot of conversation about this. But that has not forced you to get into
Yeah, because my self-worth is not connected to my body mass.
Okay.
But it's not everybody that comes to the same determination.
Example,
do you get my point? I would want to reduce pot belly because it's not healthy. That's the only reason. But I will not be in the quest to get six pack to influence anybody.
It was even held in Sunyani, his own area, where at the chance
this morning
we're having more than 5 people.
All important conversation.
It was 2,000 delegates. So
because in the past it started with
but JH Mensah still managed.
We used to say skin bleaching.
No.
It was
oh, Massa.
Didn't get
the fact that if you're fair, you need to make it look
After saying that, Banchi
went to the book job
losing the maintenance lesson, they didn't have to go back. They still lost the
in most developed countries.
People are interested in the flag bearership race of the NPP. They say success has a lot of friends, but a party in government is very attractive, isn't it? You've seen the likes of Bawumia expected.
Are you looking for a new way to revise for your WASI? Then Joy Learning has everything you need in place. Yes, we are back with the 2023 revision show for SHS 3 learners. Don't worry, your favorite question of the day section wasn't left out. And you can engage with your facilitators during live TV lessons, ask questions, and get real-time feedback in the comfort of your own space. The 2023 revision show for SHS learners shows every Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Joy Learning. Joy Learning. Learning is so fun. Joy Learning. Keep learning.
The most exciting, entertaining, and competitive cookery show. Big Chef Tertiary Edition coming soon.
I can't hear the song.
Very quietly.
I can't hear the song.
Listen.
You are, first of all, 100 cities is too small, but you're definitely right. I don't know the title.
You're saying Kojo has no right to say I will give you
he has no right when he has not actually, delivered on previous promises.
Please.
But
all in good time.
I don't know the title. Look,
so
I don't know the title.
This is Beyonce's Cuff It.
Okay.
Cuff It. Yeah.
If you had played Aquabua or Sinasol,
that one you would have been there.
Strictly Ghanaian music.
For shizzle, manezo.
Strictly Ghanaian music. Yeah, made in Ghana. Everything made in Ghana.
It's the Super Morning Show on Joy. Now, coming up,
case of Ghana is those contracts that you've signed, those PPAs, are just too expensive. Too expensive, and the kind of PPAs you sign is take or pay, which means, fact is, in the last few years, Ghana entered into some PPAs that were the wrong types, in our view, and at the wrong rates, at the wrong prices, and today you are paying dearly for it.
World Bank,
take or pay.
Country manager. Yes, also some of the PPAs.
I have examples in mind. Take or pay.
In fact, what other example is there beyond
No,
that?
I mean, see, listen, we create crisis. We knew that. I remember I was in school 2006. There was energy crisis in this country.
Yeah.
I recall, if you want to study,
leading to Ghana at 50.
Lagos Annex A, we had to go and carry food to other places to go and cook. Yes.
I can take you even further back.
Yeah. So we knew that there were periods where we had energy crisis. We did not fix it. Waited till we had a massive crisis on our hands. And as the Third World Network, right, Dr. Al Graham says, we create crisis and benefit from the crisis. Then in those circumstances, we went for take or pay? Yes. See, ideally, it's not the best option you take. But what options did we have at the time? We call it emergency something.
The fastest mobilization of emergency power in history.
And we like these comparisons that are completely nonsensical. See, it's the same thing. We create crisis. They say, we have solved it in the fastest period of time. How about not creating the crisis in the first place? And we went on. There were concerns raised. But we said, we are in a hurry. We needed many power plants. We needed a lot of them in the Republic of Ghana. Then we move forward. But my difficulty is that we, alongside that, created ESLA. ESLA's entire responsibility as Energy Sector Levies Act was to clear the debt. There was some debt that was consistent, toward debt recovery. It was always being repeated. They'll say we have put them in very nice groups. Then we brought in ESLA. Then we moved it along the line with ESLA being implemented. And if we had ESLA, and if we had all that money going into ESLA, why are we discussing debt in the energy sector again? Because we even collateralize the ESLA to actually get more money. What do you use the money for? Clear debt in the energy sector? I mean, at some point, we should be real to our people. Whenever we have proposed solutions in this sector, it appears the only sector that anytime we have solutions, it ends up accumulating more debt.
Raymond, let me just help you. I know that today is Monday, so let me just help you. You know, this is the government's Energy Sector Recovery Program. It talks about primary contributors to sector shortfall. Okay, and it says looking forward, expenses in the gas sectors which are currently not recovered through gas or electricity will add to the shortfall. The shortfall stems primarily from the following factors: excess power generation capacity. We know the take-up. Excess gas supply. Later on in the show, I'll put a figure to it. According to the government's own document, non-payment of electricity bills by some MDAs. Does that ring a bell? Technical and commercial losses. It rings a bell too, doesn't it?
MDAs, that's not the people of Magasim, right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
okay.
Ministries, departments, and agencies.
Brilliant.
Electricity tariffs do not cover all associated costs of the sector. Delayed application of the automatic adjustment formula and delays in gas infrastructure completion. All of these, I'll be explaining on them later on, because this captures the challenges that we're faced with in the power sector in detail. This is the Energy Sector Recovery Program, authored by the government in 2019, which predicted that if care was not taken, by 2023, the total debt within the sector could rise to $12 billion. But government in that document also promises to be able to actually absorb that debt so that it will reach a balance in 2023. We'll get into all of that here on the Super Morning Show.
Absolutely. Now, this take or pay that you keep hearing, it's a very simple arrangement, okay? That you sign a deal with a supplier of power, and what you're saying is that they should just be there. They should be present. Whether you come to them for power or not, you will pay them. Just think about that. If you run a business, just think about that. Imagine signing a deal with your supplier that whether they supply you or not, you will pay them. That's what we did. And we'll tell you why on the Super Morning Show. Stay tuned. Right now, though, of course, let's get geared up for all the big messages from our partners. right, listen, Total Energies is telling you that you don't need to let your engine age fast anymore. There's age resistance technology to slow it down and cut it by 74%, even under extreme temperatures and pressures. Choosing Quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer.
And SG Bank Ghana says has launched the biggest loans campaign of the year. The Atiso Loans promo. SG Ghana is offering amazingly discounted interest rates on its loans, so both customers and non-customers, including staff on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll, can enjoy access to heavily discounted loan rates. Yes, they say nowhere cool, but SG Ghana is here to lighten your financial burdens. Get a loan now by visiting any of the bank's 42 networked outlets or call us on 0302 214-314 today. As always, terms and conditions apply. Remember, promo ends on the 7th of August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
So, customer enters your shop, makes a Momo payment, and leaves, and you still haven't got the notification. Allah. Well, you can avoid that with Blue Pay, okay? You can receive cash instantly from your customers. Just dial their phone number, enter the amount, and they'll receive a prompt on their phones. Enter their PIN, what you would do. So, listen, they can also pay through your point of sale machine. So for Blue Pay, you would do with no e-levy charges. You can call or WhatsApp 054-722-0200 or go to bluepay.com.gh to register and get Blue Pay for your business today. Blue Pay, never miss a sale.
And the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, in collaboration with UNIDO, with funding support from the European Union, is organizing the maiden edition of the Wacom Made in ECOWAS exhibition in Ghana under the West African Competitiveness Program. Over 100 MSMEs operating in the processed fruits, cassava, cosmetics sector will showcase their products and services from the 29th of June to the 1st of July, the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Office Complex. To register as an exhibitor, call 0243-425872 or 0547513373. For more information, visit wacomghana.org. Businesses are encouraged to register early to reserve their stands. The registration fee is 500 Ghana cedis. Wacom Made in ECOWAS exhibition, enhancing intra-regional trade to empower local industries.
Now, whatever time of the year, you still have to make payments, you still have to travel, and Republic Bank knows this. So they say, listen, use their fantastic 4 credit cards, get great discounts from their partner merchants, you get cash back, global concierge services, and access to over 1 million ATMs across the world. Plus, you could win 2 days at Aqua Safari, among other great prizes in the Tap for Easter and Beyond credit card promotion. Just tap to pay. Live the soft life because they've got you. This is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas platform. Terms and conditions apply. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Now, you're a prospective student in Ghana seeking a prestigious university experience in South Africa. Look no further because we cordially invite you to explore the exceptional alternative the University of Free State offers. Our mission is to empower ambitious individuals like you with an opportunity to thrive in a vibrant global community, immerse yourself in world-class research, engage in meaningful collaborations, and contribute to groundbreaking advancements in your field of study. At the University of Free State, we take pride in our 7 faculties of academic excellence. So whether you aspire to delve into science, arts, commerce, humanities, our dedicated faculties provide unwavering support throughout your postgraduate study. Don't miss out on the chance to unlock your full potential. Join our esteemed institution and make your mark on the world. Begin a remarkable academic adventure with us today. To book your place, kindly WhatsApp this number, +2772 6137104. Or you can actually get to Mövenpick Ambassador Hotel from the 8th to the 9th of June from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Take the first step towards a brighter future and roll out free at the University of Free State now.
All right, so what do you want to do? Start a project, pay your rent, fees. Maybe you want to pay off a loan. Well, First Atlantic Bank's payroll loan is your solution. As long as you're a government worker and your salary is paid by the Controller and Accountant General's Department, you can get up to 150,000 Ghana cedis for whatever your needs may be. So listen, go visit First Atlantic Bank, dial *442*30# and apply and enjoy the lowest rates. Terms and conditions apply. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
And get ready to elevate your driving experience with a vehicle from Toyota Ghana. For a limited time only, Toyota is offering a bundle promoting any of the following vehicles: the 1.4-liter Starlet, 1.8-liter Corolla Cross Adventure, 1.5-liter Rush, Purchase any of these vehicles within the promo period and enjoy an irresistible price discount, 1 year free comprehensive vehicle insurance coverage, 1 year free home insurance cover, 1 year free service, free starter fuel. Terms and conditions apply. Visit any of their showrooms in Accra, Kumasi, Tema, Tamale, Takwa, Takrady, or call 0302 910204. Credit purchase is also available through special arrangement with our finance partners, Toyota, superior quality.
All right, now Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited reminds you to go check out their website, kingdomstoreonline.com. Great stuff there you can pay for with Momo across all networks, and they'll deliver to your home or office in good time. If you're in Accra or Tema, you even get free delivery. Terms and conditions apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And the Register of Companies is inviting all registered professional bodies in Ghana to an important meeting to discuss new developments relating to the registration and regulation of their professional bodies per the Professional Bodies Act 1973 NRCD 143. Date 7th June 2023, 2 p.m. at the Nathan Kwa Auditorium, Closac Building, Ministries Enclave, Accra. All registered professional bodies are entreated to attend this important meeting in the interest of the operations and supervisions. All professional bodies are to present two representatives, that's president and secretary, preferably for the meeting. Please note that the ORC will presume anybody not in attendance as having ceased operations. Contact Nicholas Obingchum at the Public Relations Unit on 0546 594859 or 0302 666081 to confirm your participation by Tuesday, 6th June 2023.
All right, time for the nutrition line from Nestle, and they offer good food for a good life.
Nestle Cerelac is looking for the next superstar mom. You stand a chance to win your share of the $1,000 up for grabs. Yes, you heard right. Simply participate by sharing a 60-second video of yourself singing your own special lullaby to a predefined Cerelac tune in the Lullaby Mommy competition. Remember, your video must feature a Cerelac maize variant. Follow Baby and Me Ghana on Facebook and Instagram to be eligible to enter and win. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
This is Nestle Nutrition Line. Nestle Nutrition Line is a public service program from Nestle Ghana Limited. Nestle Nutrition Line offers tips on good food for a good life. Now to your presenter.
It's a beautiful morning, and we've got plenty of reason to give thanks and praise. We're alive, we're well, and we have opportunity. I'm Jackie Ankara, also known as Na Ajalisua. I welcome you warmly to the sweetest corner of the day. It's Nestle Nutrition Line. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing great things in great ways. Today on Nutrition Line, we're talking about how to store food safely. Food safety is essential for everyone, but especially vulnerable groups such as children, pregnant women, older adults, and people with chronic diseases. Here are a few tips on how to store food safely. Refrigerate perishable foods promptly after purchase. Foods such as meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, dairy products, fruits and vegetables should be refrigerated within 2 hours of cooking or purchase. This is important as bacteria multiply at room temperature and can infect food left outside for long periods, causing illnesses. Store food in airtight containers. This will help to prevent the growth of bacteria. Store raw meat, poultry, and seafood separate from other foods by keeping them in different containers or bags in the fridge or freezer. This will help to prevent cross-contamination. By following these simple tips, you can help to prevent foodborne illness and keep your family safe. We've come to the end of another edition. I hope you've learned something beneficial, something that you can apply for a healthier, happier, longer life. The numbers to call 0302 517 020 or 0302 211 880. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Toll free 0800 12 0001. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to midnight. On weekends and holidays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you would prefer to WhatsApp, SMS, or call between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., please try these numbers 0593 8456 5697 0593 845649 0593 845708. You can also email consumerservices@gh.nestle.com. Remember, you've got the one life. You've got the one body. You put that together and you persevere to make it the best you can. Don't stop until you reach the top.
Hello, moms. Your favorite Nestle Cerelac is looking for the next superstar mom. You stand a chance to win your share of the $1,000 up for grabs. Yes, you heard right. Simply participate by sharing a 60-second video of yourself singing your own special lullaby to a predefined Cerelac tune in the Lullaby Mummy competition. Remember, your video must feature a Cerelac maize variant. Follow Baby and Me Ghana on Facebook and Instagram to be eligible to enter and win. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Have you ever thought of the one that makes you complete? An escape from the clutches of interest charges. With the Standard Chartered Visa debit and credit cards, payments are completed at the speed of light, intertwined with interest earning accounts. You also get unbelievable rewards every time you swipe. You have access to over 1,200 airport lounges worldwide. High credit limits of up to 100,000 Ghana cedis and up to 50 days interest-free with our credit cards. You also get to enjoy full multi-trip travel insurance for 90 days. Fees discounted at your feet with our globally partnered merchant points. Bills are always settled, not battled. Get the Standard Chartered debit and credit card now. Call toll-free on 0800 740 100 or 0302 740 100 or reach us via email on feedback.ghana@sc.com. Standard Chartered, here for good.
1xBet Jackpot is here with weekly massive prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is place your bets on any sports game and stand a chance to win. Simply register at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code JackpotGhana and place your bets. 1xBet is your key to great victories. Feel like a winner. 1xBet. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
It's time to go beyond what your traditional financial apps can do. Introducing Cowry, the only digital financial app you will ever need. Experience Cowry, the way to pay. Send. Move your money in quick, easy steps at the best rates on the market. Buy. Top up your airtime and data twice as fast as you normally do. Pay. Step out of the cash queue. Pay for any product or service when you need to. Enjoy it faster. And now, manage. Experience a new way of managing your money. Understand how and when your money moves. You can rely on Cowry every day. Download Cowry from your Google Play Store or App Store. Experience Cowry, the way to pay.
All right, listen, today we're going to do something special. We will do birthday messages, but later on the show, okay? But as always, birthday messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by
MTN.
Everywhere you go. Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group,
as close as a partner.
And Niche Confectionery, Niche chocolate drink, is made with Ghana's finest wholesome cocoa. Niche chocolate is full of delicious goodness, enriched with vitamins and minerals. Niche, taste of Ghana.
So help me God.
Or should we do just one each? One birthday?
Oh, just Samuel Dami's birthday. So happy birthday.
All right. We'll be doing big birthdays later, including one that comes with a story. But right now,
let's get into the Sports Center.
Brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go. Standard Chartered Bank, here for good. Allianz Life Insurance, we secure your future. And 1xBet, your reliable bookmaker.
Now, do you lead a corporate business, a global subsidiary, or run the affairs of a small or medium enterprise? As a key decision maker in your business, we know you want to make payments seamlessly and access real-time transaction data, whether you're at work or on the go. Standard Chartered provides the digital key to help unlock your business potential. That key is straight to bank, a single access end-to-end digital platform that helps you manage the needs of your business on the go. View transactions, pay your business partners and government institutions through Ghana.gov, facilitate real-time payments and collections with the latest encryption technology and security. Elevate your banking experience today with Straight to Bank, our award-winning digital banking platform, powering payroll, cash management, trade, and securities. You can always bank on us. Kindly email premierservice.gh@sc.com to sign up today.
Right, MTN's SME Plus gives small businesses the chance to manage all of their communication costs. You can choose from affordable packages. You get talk time, SMS, data, business content, as well as free on-net calls every Monday from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Just dial star 5060 hash. Sign up today or WhatsApp or call 0244 308 111 for more information. And stay connected everywhere you go.
And the Allianz EduFlex plan is a savings plan that provides additional financial security by helping you meet the educational goal you've set for your children. This plan ensures that your child's education continues no matter the circumstances life brings your way. One major advantage of this policy is the 15% cashback benefit. Customers who've maintained an active policy for the last 2 years without a claim are rewarded with a 15% cashback of the total insurance premium they've paid. This year, over 430 customers would enjoy this benefit and enjoy superior benefits while securing your future. Let's talk more on 0308249090. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
All right, one of the world's largest betting companies, 1xBet, has launched the Jackpot of the Week promotion. So as a registered player, you can enjoy the chance of the weekly jackpot amount being shared and you getting a share of it. All the terms and conditions are on the promotion page. Give your luck a chance. Sign up with 1xBet today and use the promo code GHJackpot to receive an incredible 300% bonus of up to 2,650 Ghana cedis. Gaza.
Yeah, thank you. And we are doing the birthday later, but happy birthday to Dr. Ray. Today is your birthday. He's sitting on the fourth floor today. Best wishes to you, ex-footballer and CEO of Cook History Cakes as well. Gary Al Smith here with the Joy Sports Center. Coming up today, we are back from a sporting weekend of goals, tears, and titles.
Let's hear for Gundogan. It is a thrilling start for Manchester City. The fastest ever goal in an FA Cup final. What a hit. Manchester City's year 2023. They win the Derby final. Now for the treble.
Yes, indeed. 2 down, 1 more to go as Man City chase a historic treble, but there'll be no more of such storylines for this guy.
It's going to fall for Ibrahimovic. Oh, come on!
LAFC have just been Zlatan.
A world-class goal from a world-class player.
Benzema, first time ball is perfectly weighted. Every touch he's done so far has been good. And his header is even better. He's touched the ball 3 times, Karim Benzema. They've all been perfect. And the latest, the most deadly of all, it's a hell of a goal.
Hell of a goal. While Karim Benzema says goodbye to Real Madrid after 354 goals and 25 titles, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, 9 clubs, 34 titles, says goodbye altogether to the sport of football. But the Miami Heat stay fighting.
Jimmy Butler, jump shot, it's good. Big buckets from Jimmy Buckets here in the fourth. Back out to Murray. His three-pointer. Bang! 4 seconds. Murray, step back, three-pointer. Won't go. Fight for the rebound. Martin. And it's over. The Miami Heat have tied the NBA Finals.
Yeah. Series in at 1-1 as Miami Heat break the Denver Nuggets and hand them their first home defeat of the playoffs. We have a review up ahead, but first, Black Stars winger Enes Nuama has been named this season's Danish Superliga Player of the Year. Last week, the 19-year-old was named Best Player of the Spring, which is sort of like the mid-season thingy. You know, his 12 goals and 4 assists for Nordsjælland saw the club finish second in the Danish top flight. And now he's won the big thing all together. It's a similar story in France, where Salis Abdul Samet's RC Lens missed out on the Ligue 1 title by just a whisker. They finished just a point behind PSG, who lifted the title for an 11th time despite a 3-2 defeat to Ali Dusaidou's Clermont Foot. Lens 3-1's victory over Auxerre proved inadequate, but was enough for Auxerre to be relegated. Black Stars defender Gideon Mensah became the 4th senior national team player, the regular player, to be relegated this season. Alexander Djiku Strasbourg survived the drop. Meanwhile, Ghana's Black Princesses were crowned Wafu Zone Beach under-20 champions after a 3-1 penalty shootout victory over Nigeria.
The Black Princesses of Ghana have their stars shining very gloriously this evening. They are winners of this prestigious tournament. Host and win mission accomplished.
It happened in Kumasi, and the shootouts could have been avoided though, as the Princesses had a 1-0 lead up until the 85th minute when Nigeria grabbed the equalizer from a goalkeeping error. However, the goalkeeper, Afi Amenyaku, turned from villain to heroine in the penalty shootout, where she saved 3 kicks to win the title for the Princesses. She's been absolutely amazing, must be said. In this tournament, Esther Bankwa was commentator in the final.
She knew that she had let the team down one way or the other because of how she was on the pitch. Her countenance, even when they were about to take the penalty, there were some officials that had to be called to the technical team that they should tell the girl to support herself, and they just helped her. They know that she has let the team down, but that wasn't at the end of it, because the penalties was the opportunity that she had at least try and just make amends for that, how bad that she is. So that form of encouragement that she had set her up a bit, and rather take it as a challenge then.
Right, so by this, the Princesses have qualified for the next edition of the Under-20 African Women Cup of Nations tournament, the ALCON. Congratulations to them. Before we come to the Ghana Premier League, this weekend was, Confederation Cup final and Champions League final time. Algerian club USM Alger have been crowned the 2023 Confed Cup champions after beating Tanzania's Young Africans on away goals. The Algerian side led 2-1 from the first leg in Dar es Salaam, which gave them a significant advantage heading into the return in Algiers. However, Young Africans knew they could turn the table after taking the lead only 7 minutes into the game through Juma Shabani's penalty goal. And then, in the end, though, the title is USM Alger's first ever continental one, having lost the 2015 CAF Champions League final against TP Mazembe as well. They also become the first ever Algerian club to win the CAF Confederations Cup, with ES Setif, Mo Bejaya and GS Kabylie all losing the finals in 2009, 2016 and 2021. Yesterday evening, there was also the Champions League final. First leg, Al Ahly maintained their unbeaten home record against Wydad Casablanca after winning 2-1 in the first leg at the Cairo International Stadium. The second leg will be on the 11th of June as well. That will be a day after the UEFA Champions League. In the Ghana Premier League, plenty to talk about, including the headline that is that Hearts of Oak could be relegated. Yes, they suffered their 4th straight defeat, which sees them drop to 11th on the table. It was an afternoon which started well for the Rainbow Club as Linda Intange gave Hearts the lead in the first half, but Hearts were made to rue their missed chances, where Stephen Dankwa attacked away RTU's second of the game to complete the comeback.
I think we didn't defend well. We didn't defend well, especially the second half. We gave them too much space to play, especially our laterals. And it cost us the match.
Where does this result leave Accra Hearts of Oak ahead of the final round of matches?
A very difficult position.
Difficult position, says David Oklu. Hearts of Oak boss. The Phobians, like I said, could be relegated on the final day of the season if they lose to Brecum, Chelsea and Great Olympics. Tamale City, Legon Cities, Kerala United and Accra Lions win their games. I know it's a lot of mathematics going on there. King Faisal can still survive on the final day of the season if they beat RTU. If they beat RTU, some reports say that King Faisal have been relegated, but mathematically, King Faisal could be saved as well. Two teams already have their relegation statuses confirmed, though. Kotoku Royals and Kotoku Royals have been relegated. Like I said, King Faisal could save themselves on the last day. Both clubs like 18th and 17th with 26 and 39 points respectively. 3-1 was the result between King Faisal against Legon Cities. Even as King Faisal won that one, Kotoku Royals also secured a 4-1 win over Tamale City, but it wasn't enough. But for the race for the league title, it will go down to the final day. Mediama currently sit top of the table with 57 points, and a win over Tamale City on the final day will secure them a first league title. Remember, Mediama have come very, very close about 4 separate occasions and never won. Second in second place is Bechem United, who could also secure a first ever Ghana Premier League title should Mediama lose. Bechem are only 3 points behind the Moving Yellows, and a victory over Adriana Stars on the final day will see them lift the title on a head-to-head basis. All right, quickly to Europe, where Manchester City kept their treble hopes alive. Ilkay Gundogan scored twice to give them a victory in the FA Cup final over city rivals Man United. And having already won the Premier League title, City now move a step closer to footballing immortality. Gundogan was Pep's first signing when he joined the Citizens from Dortmund in a £21 million deal, and he's now their captain.
He's been incredible in the 7 years he's been here anyway. But, you know, in the big moments he steps up, he isn't afraid, and he scores great goals.
Are you wanting to stay?
Yeah, definitely.
Kevin De Bruyne eulogizing his teammates who reports say heading out of Manchester City. Anyway, Karim Benzema marked his final Real Madrid appearance with a goal as they drew their last game of the La Liga at home to Athletic Bilbao. The 35-year-old, second on the club's all-time record scoring list, slotted in from the penalty spot after Eder Militao was fouled in the box. Real confirmed the end of Benzema's 14-year stay at the Bernabeu on Sunday before a reported move to Saudi Arabia. Apparently, he told his friends, Winston, how can I say no to 400 million euros?
That one is more than Cristiano Ronaldo's.
Yeah, apparently that's what he told his friends.
That's how you take the money.
Oh, yale. More teary eyes in football because Zlatan Ibrahimovic has retired. I say goodbye, he said on social media, to football, but not to you, the Swede told San Siro crowd after Sunday's last game of the season. After 511 goals for the club, for all his clubs, including PSG, Man United, both AC and Inter Milan, winning league titles in 4 countries, Zlatan is done and dusted. Wow. Since 1999 to 2020. In the NBA, finally, before Winston sits down, the Miami Heat have leveled the series 111-108 victory. That's what they recorded over the Denver Nuggets. And prior to Game 2, the Nuggets were on a 9-0 unbeaten run at home in the playoffs and look certain to extend that record after their dominating Game 1 last week. Here is Jimmy Butler.
I just think nobody cares on our team. We're not worried about what anybody thinks. We're so focused in on what we do well and who we are as a group that that's what we fall back on.
So, Game 3 is on. We'll update you. And in tennis, another record for Novak Djokovic. He surpassed Rafael Nadal's record for reaching French Open men's quarterfinals. He beat Peru's Juan Pablo Varillas on the straight sets to reach his 17th as well. That's it for the Sports Center. Winston on a Monday, and thank you very much for your time. Big shouts to MTN's Efua Sewa Asafweje, who is in the Media Relations Department. as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you very, very much, Gary R. Smith, for joining us with the latest in the world of sports. But let's get interactive this morning. Social media messages on the Super Morning Show, brought to us by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, Ghana AIDS Commission. Test to know your HIV status and take steps to protect your health. Number 10 liver salt, a refreshing relief, and GTP lifestyle. So does your existing salary account give you more? Is your salary in the right account? Worry no more, because the EcoBank salary account is here to help you. Open an EcoBank salary account today and enjoy free life insurance, which covers temporary and permanent disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and death. With the EcoBank salary account, you have the ability to save as you spend, free debit card, access to loans, and more. And the best part is you stand a chance to double your salary in the EcoBank double salary from now till the end of July. So open an EcoBank salary account today for amazing benefits. And scammers who may contact you on this offer. Always visit an EcoBank branch or call on toll-free 0800-003-225 for further details on the EcoBank salary account and the EcoBank double salary promotion period. Terms and conditions apply. EcoBank and Africa. We're going to return after these messages. Bring you food for thought. Brought to us by EcoBank Productions.
Hey, this one can't go to an account. Why are you running? It's all about the EcoBank salary account. EcoBank salary account. Why? It gonna make me fly. I promise. It will make your pockets rise. The salary account comes with many incredible benefits, like free life insurance, which covers permanent total disability, critical illness, hospitalization, temporal disability, retrenchment, and death. Also save while you spend, access loans, get free debit card, and the chance to double your salary and more in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded. It's starting from this May to July 31st, 2023, and there are so many other consolation prizes to be won. Hey, no wonder my hand was itching. This is the perfect account for my salary.
So go ahead, open an EcoBank salary account today. You also stand a chance to win more than double your salary from 1st of May to the 31st of July in the EcoBank Double Salary Promo Reloaded. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is under the supervision of the National Lottery Authority under the Caritas Lottery Platform. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
All right, so welcome back, and it's now time for Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman Productions. Be the difference. Uncle, good morning.
How are you, sir?
Yes,
How
Uncle.
Was your weekend? How was your weekend?
Oh, the weekend was great. I was in Ho, in the Volta region. I went for the funeral of SWK Chadide. Yes, so yes, I was back to my base.
Well, this morning I want to say something to you. I'm not too sure I've said it to you before. But when I wake up in the morning and I hear your voice and that of the rest of the team, I just tell myself, we'll be all right. We have survived another day.
Oh, I like that.
It brings me hope. I just felt you should know.
Oh, thank you very much, Uncle. In fact, if I was fair, you'd have seen me blushing. Well, that's just by the way.
But that would have been nice, eh? Well, anyway, I would say last Friday morning, I had the honor of being hosted by the wonderful team at the MasterCard Foundation. The topic for our discussion was thriving in difficult times. These are difficult times indeed, and on all fronts and at all levels. And so this morning, I want to share some of the thoughts I shared with them.
Sure.
With you. During the Liberian War, a Ghanaian, Apostle Dr. Michael Ntumi, was captured and held as a prisoner in a forest in Liberia by Charles Taylor's men. The conditions at the prison camp were dire, and human life meant nothing to the captors. When Ghana contributed troops to ECOMOG, the situation of the Ghanaians being held in the camp became even more precarious. Charles Taylor's soldiers believed that if Ghana had not intervened, they would have won the war, and they therefore treated the captured Ghanaians as their enemies. Not many people survived the prison camp. Many died from hunger and illness, and some were just simply executed. The prisoners became bones as they were starved. for lack of food, and sometimes just because the captors just couldn't care. A few people survived and lived to tell the story, and one of them was Apostle Ntumi. He told me that one thing that all the survivors had in common was that they believed that they would not die in the camp. They believed they would survive, and they did. They kept hope alive. Apostle Ntumi's point is borne out by the experience of the Jews who were imprisoned under Hitler in the days of the Holocaust.
Sure.
One survivor said the conditions at the concentration camps were beyond hopeless, and yet a few prisoners managed to keep hope alive and stay positive. And he said that those who kept hope alive and remained positive survived and lived to be rescued by the Allied forces. The situation in Ghana comes nowhere near the horrors of being held prisoner in the prison camp in the forest in Liberia, and definitely cannot be compared with the madness of the Holocaust and the Nazi concentration camps. But the key for surviving remains the same, keeping hope alive and staying positive. Difficult times tend to be overwhelming, but they don't last forever. The difficult times we are going through as Ghanaians are currently overwhelming us, but they will not stay forever. These times shall also pass. And so to help us keep hope alive this morning, here are a few keys to master. Number one, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, why is this happening for me? When we encounter any unpleasant situation or misfortune, most of us tend to ask, why is this happening to me? A better question is, why is this happening for me? The truth is, even the worst of situations happen for our good. As the Bible says, in all things, God works together for good for those who love him. Number two, don't play the blame game. It is normal for us to look for who to blame for our difficulties and issues, but it is not helpful. When you blame someone for a difficult situation, you play the victim and give up your power of taking responsibility for turning the situation around and for making the most of the situation. Number three, do the best you can with what you have. The difficult situation may reduce your options and your choices, but every situation, no matter how dire, still leaves you with some choices. They may not be the choices you would have liked to be restricted to, but it is what you have. And so do the best you can with what you have. That is a great way of not just coping with difficult times, but thriving in them.
Sure.
Number four, have faith. It will give you strength and hope. Faith does not cost anything, and yet in a difficult situation, it is more precious than anything money can buy. No matter how dire your circumstances and how hopeless the situation, have faith in God. Have faith in yourself, knowing that you were not made to break, and have faith in your future. Number five, never give up. Giving up is a luxury only losers can afford. No matter the situation, giving up is not a viable or wise option. Number six, be positive. It takes the same energy to be positive as it does to be negative, but staying positive energizes you and gives you the inner resources to make the most of the situation and to eventually find a way out of it. Number seven, practice gratitude and count your blessings. Whatever you are grateful for multiplies. And so practicing gratitude is your surest way of ensuring that you will always have things to be thankful for. One way of staying grateful is to count your blessings on a daily basis. So, can you hear my voice as I make this presentation? Then be grateful that your sense of hearing is intact. Are you on your way to work? Then you have a job in these difficult times. That is surely something to be grateful for. Do you have someone who means the world to you and to whom you mean the world? That means you have love in your life, a major blessing to be grateful for. Number 8, don't be self-centered. Reach out to help others. Being self-centered is a recipe for depression, even in the best of times. So you can imagine its negative impact in difficult times. So don't be self-centered. Reach out to help others whenever you can, because you cannot put a smile on someone's face without you also smiling. And finally, for this morning, number 9, celebrate being alive. Live in the now fully. If you have millions of dollars in your bank account and you are dying, how much would life mean to you? How much would you be willing to pay for the privilege of being alive? Trust me, if you are asked to choose between wealth and life, you would choose life, because wealth cannot buy life, but life can eventually create wealth. That is why, no matter how dire your circumstances, you must celebrate being alive and then make the most of the life you have, because if you have life, but you are even pursueless, you are still wealthier than the millionaire who just died. Now, I would say, when the civil rights leaders led the people in singing, "We Shall Overcome,"
yeah,
they were not just singing a song to bolster their confidence. They were not just giving themselves hope. They were declaring the power of the key of surviving and thriving in difficult times, and they did. So, if you're a Ghanaian, we shall overcome.
We shall overcome. Thank you very, very much, Uncle. Live in the now. Good health.
Live in the now.
It's very important. Yes, Uncle. Thank you very much for joining us with Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman Productions. Be the difference. Now time for the Joy Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you, and McDan Aviation, your dependable private aviation solution.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you. Government has finished putting together the framework that will guide the operationalization of the Financial Stability Fund from next month. That's information Joy Business has picked up from persons knowledgeable of the fund's workings. The World Bank is rejecting criticism that it contributed to Ghana's current debt and economic crisis. Ghana is currently classified as a debt-distressed country. Government overturned its recent undersubscription of treasury bills to record about 15% oversubscription of its targeted amount. However, that came at a higher cost as interest rates continue to surge on the yield curve. And oil prices have risen after Saudi Arabia said it would make cuts of 1 million barrels per day in July. Other members of OPEC+, a group of oil-producing countries, also agreed to continue cuts in production in an attempt to shore up flagging prices. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. And are you a government worker looking for quick access to financial assistance at the most competitive interest rate? Well, then look no further, because CBG is offering you access to loans of up to 250,000 Ghana cedis and up to 72 months repayment period. Well, for more information on how to access CBG controller loans, walk into any of CBG's 114 branches nationwide, or contact us on 0302 216 000, email info@cbg.com.gh, or visit our website cbg.com.gh, or on all our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for additional information. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, we stand with you. And on Big Stories this morning, brought to us by Vodafone, Further Together, latest from your partner for life, Belmonte by CPL Developers, the ultimate luxury experience, and Access Bank, your number one remittance bank. Access Bank, more than banking, our focus is on the power sector.
In the case of Ghana, is those contracts that you've signed, those PPAs, are just too expensive, and the kind of PPAs you sign is take or pay, which means fact is, in the last few years, Ghana entered into some PPAs that were the wrong types, in our view, and at the wrong rates, at the wrong prices, and today you are paying dearly for it.
And so this morning here on the Super Morning Show, the IPPs have given government up to the end of June to pay at least 30% or they cut supply. And you know what that would mean for us? It means we get to struggle with electricity. So this morning the question is, where did we go wrong? What happened to all the promises that we made in the past? What happened to our excess capacity? And even the plan by government and the Energy Sector Recovery Program that they were going to settle all debts by end of 2023. What's happening? This morning we get into the conversation. We're joined by Deputy Energy Minister Andrew Egyapa-Mensah, who is also a Member of Parliament. For secondly, former Deputy Power Minister John Abdullah Jinapo, Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogu, would also be joining us right here on the Super Morning Show. So you know we've got you covered. And here's exciting news because Vodafone Cash now allows payment to all merchant numbers on other networks. Remember how frustrating it was when you couldn't make payments for goods and services because Vodafone Cash was not acceptable to merchant numbers on other networks? Well, Vodafone Cash users can now relax and make payments to merchants on all networks. Simply dial *110#, select option 1, send money, select option 2, other networks, and follow the prompts to send money. Experience the ease of transacting on Vodafone Cash. Dial *110# at any time to send money to all merchant numbers. Use Vodafone Cash today. Now, welcome to Belmonte, where luxury meets comfort. If you're in the market for a home that combines class, convenience, and comfort, then look no further than Belmonte. Belmonte is located in the prime East Legon area of Lagos Avenue. The Belmonte stylish apartment offers first-class luxury and cutting-edge finishing. So whether you're looking for an executive studio suite, a cozy one-bedroom apartment, a spacious two-bedroom apartment, or a custom villa, we've got you covered. But that's not all. Belmonte also offers a range of top-notch facilities to relax and keep you entertained. So why wait? Take the first step towards your dream home. Sign up for our 3-year payment plan and own your property today. Contact us on 0204-343-011 or 0204-343-015. Belmonte is developed by CPL. And if you're looking for a 1-seater, 2-seater, or 3-seater, or L-shaped sofa crafted to the finest details and available in various colors for your home, office, or hotel, if you're looking for comfort, durability, quality, and that perfect finishing, then look no further because Latest Foam is your one-stop shop. Whatever your choice or budget, buy from the best, not the imitated. Buy Latest Foam. Latest Foam, your partner for life. So what is exciting, delicious, creamy, and rich with vitamins, minerals, and has the goodness of cocoa all at the same time? And I'm sure you can guess what it is. It's the brand new Niche chocolate drink made with Ghana's finest wholesome cocoa. Niche chocolate is full of delicious goodness. Niche chocolate drink comes in 250 ml bottle and 180 ml Tetra Pak so that you can enjoy it big or small. It's great for all members of the family. Visit a shop near you to get yours, and I know that you'd love it. Contact Niche on 0531-819 0531-818292, 0531-818292 or 0277-779560. Niche, Taste of Ghana. Right, so stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages here on the Super Morning Show.
Ever visited a shop, picked a whole basket of provisions, toiletries, and very essential things you need, battled a long queue to finally pay, only to be told you can't pay to a merchant number? The way that thing they pay, but with Vodafone Cash, there is no problem. Now on Vodafone Cash, you can pay all merchants on all networks. Easy peasy. Aye straight. Aye direct. Aye sharp. From your Vodafone Cash wallet to any merchant's number on other networks. So whether you are buying provisions or fuel, food, whatever the service or need, just pay conveniently from Vodafone Cash to any merchant's number.
Are you looking for a new way to revise for your WASI? Then Joy Learning has everything you need in place. Yes, we are back with the 2023 revision show for SHS 3 learners. Don't worry, your favorite question of the day section wasn't left out. And you can engage with your facilitators during live TV lessons, ask questions, and get real-time feedback in the comfort of your own space. The 2023 revision show for SHS learners shows every Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Joy Learning. Joy Learning. Learning is so fun. Joy Learning. Keep learning.
The most exciting, entertaining, and competitive cookery show. Big Chef Tertiary Edition coming soon.
Latex Foam, your partner for life.
It's morning in Africa. It won't be bright for another hour or two, but the continent is already on the move.
In fact, what other example is there beyond that?
Boost that lady's confidence, and it helps like boost my self-esteem as a woman.
Some females haven't been able to do anything. They believe that their value is their beauty, and therefore they have to enhance it in order to get the men that they desire.
They do it to attract men because men like to see nice body shapes, like curvy women. They like it.
I can take you even
Raymond.
further back.
Yeah. I have a simple question.
We knew that there were
advise
periods
your
where we
wife to
had
do
energy
that?
crisis. We
No.
did not
Why
fix it.
not?
Waited till we had a massive crisis on our hands.
Because
And as
I believe it's
the
not
Third
worth
World
it. I
Network,
believe
right?
a person's
Dr. Al Graham
self-worth
says,
should
we
not be
create
connected
crisis
to the
and
body
benefit from the
mass index
crisis.
or body
Then
conformation.
in those
That's my
circumstances, we went for take.
Okay.
But is it take or pay?
I
Yes.
think for the person involved, too,
See,
she may
ideally,
come to a determination
it's
that
not the
that's
best
what
option
will
you
make her
take.
feel
But
better.
what options did
And
we
that
have
way
at the
you can
time?
really not
We
fight
were,
it that much.
we call it
Because the
emergency.
factors that go into this,
something.
they differ.
The fastest
Sometimes
mobilization
not only
of
for other
emergency
people.
power
You get
in
my point,
history.
right?
And we
So
like
if
these
our men
comparisons
today
that are
who
completely
are spending all
nonsensical.
their time in the gym,
See,
building
it's the same
muscles
thing.
and
We create
demanding
crisis.
to
There is,
get
we have
six
solved it.
pack.
The
Because
fastest
they
period of
want to
time.
meet a
How about
certain
not creating the
standard.
crisis in the first place?
I know you and I, we don't qualify by
And
that.
we went on. There were concerns raised. But said, oh, we are in a hurry. We needed many
act like they
outlets.
don't
We needed a
See,
lot of them in the
do
Republic
things
of
for valid
Ghana.
reasons. We
Then
can
we move
presume
forward.
that health
But my
wise, you want to get
difficulty is
healthy,
that
so yeah,
we,
you have to
alongside
exercise
that,
and all of
created
that. But
ESLA.
some do it beyond the healthy part
ESLA's
to get
entire
wonderful
responsibility
six-pack so that they can influence a
as
certain
energy sector
appeal.
levies at was to clear
So
the debt.
self-worth,
There was some debt that was
connection
consistent
to
toward debt recovery.
body.
It was
outlook.
always being
Do you get my
repeated.
point?
You know what I'm saying?
I
We
get
have
you.
put them
That
in very
self-worth
nice
and
groups.
connection to body
Then we
outlook
brought in
is
ESLA.
what drives some
Then
of
we
these
moved it
things.
along the
But
line
there is
with
also
ESLA
something we
being
should call out.
implemented.
An
And if we had
insane
ESLA, and we
obsession,
had all that money going
as
into
if
ESLA,
everybody's
why
being
are
forced
we
into that
discussing
area?
debt in
Check
the
TikTok
energy sector
videos.
again?
You see some of
Because
them, right? I mean,
we
you've seen this video
collateralize
where
the ESLA
a gentleman
to
is
actually
asking
get more
a woman
money.
that he's gotten
What
some
do
money,
you use
and
the
the
money
woman's
for?
asking the gentleman, what should
Clear
she do
debt
with
in
the
the
money?
energy sector.
He says he's gotten some money.
I mean,
Oh,
at
so
some
she wants to
point,
buy
we
some
should be
new cars
real
and
to
start
our
a
people.
transportation
Whenever we have
ride-hailing
proposed
business.
solutions
Then
in
the
this
guy
sector,
says, no,
it
don't
appears
do
the
that.
only sector that
Use it to do
anytime
a
we have
back lift.
solutions,
If you
it
do
ends
the
up
back lift,
accumulating
you
more
eventually
debt.
get more money.
Raymond, let me just help you. I know that today is Monday. So let me just help you. You know, this is the government's
You see how
energy sector
there were
recovery
times
program.
on Ghanaian TV
It talks about primary
where
contributors to
women were
sector
paraded,
shortfall.
where
Okay?
women were
And it says looking for
basically
especially in the
made
gas
so
sectors which are
women
currently
with
not recovered
very
food, gas, or
elevated
excise
gluteus
will add to the
maximus
shortfall. The
were
shortfall
very
stems
much
primarily
paraded as
from the following
standard that everybody
factors.
should be looking out for.
Excess power generation
That
capacity.
and other things
We know the
influence
takeoff.
their thinking.
Excess
In
gas
fact, there are
supply.
videos
Taken on the
even
shop, put
today,
the
not
figure
very
to
old
according to the
videos, even
government's own
today.
documents.
Where people say, oh,
Non-payment of
when they
electricity
see
bills by
that
some
part of the body
MDAs,
that's
does that ring a
elevated,
bell?
they are extremely
Technical
happy.
and commercial
When we
losses.
do these
It rings
things,
a bell
we are
too, does it?
subconsciously sending a signal to a
No.
generation that
No.
if you
Ministry's
don't
department
have
agencies.
them in the proportion that we
Electricity
deem
tariffs do not
very
cover all
elegant, you
associated
need to
costs
get
of the
it or you're
sector.
not part of a certain standard of
Delayed
beauty because
application
beauty
of the
standards change.
automatic
So you're suggesting that
adjustment formula
society
and delays
is
in
actually
gas
the force
infrastructure
behind this.
completion.
If it's not
All of
conscious,
these
it's
are being
subconscious. There's
leaning
a
on
certain
them later
deliberate
because
attempt
this captured
to force women to be remolded into a certain thinking.
But Raymond, there's a lot of conversation about CISPA, but that has not forced you to get into CISPA.
Yeah, because my self-worth is not connected to my body mass.
That care was not taken.
But it's not everybody that comes to the same determination.
The total debt within the
Do you get my point? I would want to reduce pot belly because it's not healthy. That's the only reason.
To be able to
but I will not be in the quest to get CISPA to influence
so that it will reach a balance in 2023.
Okay.
We'll get into
well, this morning we're having this all-important conversation.
In fact, what other example is there beyond that?
Because in the past it started with
with crisis. We knew that. I remember I was in school 2006. There was energy crisis in this country. I recall if you want to study
leading to Ghana 50.
Let's go on XA. We have to go and carry food to other places to go and cook. Yes,
concluded.
I can take even further back.
Not a worldwide study.
So we knew that there were periods where we had energy crisis. We did not fix it. Waited till we had a massive crisis on our hands, and as the Third World Network, right, Dr. Al Graham says, we create crisis and benefit from the crisis.
It's about power. Okay, as a country, we're in an IMF program, money no day, but we have to keep the lights on somehow. How are we doing it? How are we intending to keep them on going into the future? We've already had red flags raised by the World Bank about some of the deals we struck for the generation of power. I'm talking about the independent power producers, okay, and the take or pay agreements that have been signed with some of them. Agreements that are seen to be extremely expensive, unaffordable. Already, we've racked up a bill of almost 2 billion of the United States dollars, and we have not paid. So, of course, we're getting ultimatums now from these power producers. What does this mean for our power sector? We'll be talking to those who know. You'll be hearing from the ranking member on Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee. I'm talking about Mr. John Jinapor. He used to be Deputy Power Minister under John Mahama. Andrew Ejapa-Mensah is the current Deputy Energy Minister. And we will also be speaking to the former Chairman and CEO of Volta River Authority, Kweku Awotri. He actually has joined us already. Mr. Awotri, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you?
Very well indeed, and I'm so glad you could join us. Right, we'll be hearing more from our guests in just a moment. First, though, we know that life is go, 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 and that it's hard to make time for the things that really count. So, you can believe that ABSA will not let banking get in your way. Now, with ABSA's digital channels, you can bank when, where, and how you want, so that you can focus on what or who is important to you. Banking has never been this easy. Transfer funds into your savings account, pay your old school union dues and your DSTV subscriptions, and many more things with the click on your phone. Get things done simply with ABSA's digital channels. That's Africanacity, that's ABSA. Terms and conditions apply. Go to absa.com.gh for further details.
Well, you know, everywhere make hot baby ayashi, but still man for enjoy regardless. So grab your favorite Bigo drink from Twellium Industrial Company Limited, producers of Venom Mineral Water and Rush Energy Drink. Guess what? Bigo drink gives you 20 bottles for a pack. Yes, no more 16. 4 more bottles for free. Obia Benyebi. Boys, girls, mommy, daddy for the party, funeral, family day out, and any other social gathering. No wahala. Grab any of our flavors. Cola, orange, pineapple, apple, cocktail. Bigo drink, big in taste, big in flavor, big in quantity, and very affordable for all. Bigo drink, another premium product from Twellium Industrial Company Limited, producers of Rush Energy Drink and Venom Mineral Water.
Now, it's that time of the day to order some tasty grilled chicken with fried rice, the best of its kind. Enjoy the aroma of carefully selected fresh ingredients. Feel the love in every bite of excellently savored and sizzled food if you're working in Accra or Tema. Call Lunch Avenue on 0558 502 206 to order fresh, home-cooked and nutritious meals. Lunch Avenue, tasty, yummy and healthy.
Well, so it's your time to enjoy the Royal Foam mattress at an affordable rate. Things are really hard and prices of goods and services are on the rise every day. And that's why Royal Foam is bringing to you a sales promotion dubbed Wunsuwumreni. It's your time to enjoy a 10% discount on the current prices of our mattress. Yes, 10% discount on our mattresses with free pillows in addition. So rush to Royal Foam mattress and get your 10% discount on every mattress purchased, as well as enjoying our free pillows. Call us on 0202 271,000 for more information. Royal Foam, rest assured.
All right, so listen, let's draw the line directly to you, the listener, today. Your lights are on because as a nation, we're able to generate enough power to keep your lights on. Now, about half of the capacity that this nation has to generate power is provided by private power producers. Now, these independent power producers, as they are described, have different types of deals with the government of Ghana. Majority of them have something called a take or pay agreement. Now think about if you rent a car, right? You rent a car for 7 days. You pay for 7 days. Whether you drive that car every day in those 7 or not, you still pay for 7 days. That is similar to a take or pay agreement. So you engage these people to produce power. They come, they provide the equipment and everything to produce the power. Whether they produce it or not, we pay them. Oh, and just to make it more interesting, we are the ones who provide them with the fuel as well. So if they are available, ready to produce power, and we don't give them fuel, we still pay them. At the moment, we're paying an average of $16 to $17 million per month to these independent power producers, each. So over the years, we have racked up a bill that is almost $2 billion US. We've not paid. And they have given government an ultimatum. If by the end of this month we don't pay, they will switch off. So this is about half of our installed capacity. You will be affected if this happens. Negotiations are underway, but we are being told by the World Bank that these arrangements were too expensive. So why did we go into them? Why did we sign them? What was the situation at the time that made us go into these deals that are now being described as too expensive? We'll find out. We'll also find out why we are still in them. Why have we not renegotiated them? Some of them expired. Why did we renew them? These are questions we will answer together. But first, we want to get an idea of the situation with the power producers. Where do they stand? What are their concerns? Kwekwa Awotwe is former CEO and chairman of the Volta River Authority, a power producer, but of course, a state-owned power producer. Now, he has a great overview of the sector, so we can learn a lot from him. Mr. Awotwe, once again, we're so glad you could join us. Let's start with the situation with these independent power producers. From your perspective, what exactly is making them take the stands that they have?
Right. Well, good morning again, and good morning to your listeners. I think you rightly pointed out, today the IPPs supply about 50% of the country's requirement. And they actually supply about 2/3 of the non-hydro power in the country. So if you take out Akosombo and Bui, the IPPs supply about 2/3. So they're really significant. And a lot of that growth has really happened in the last 10 to 12 years, especially starting from those doomsday years of 2013 onwards, about 10 years now. So when, and I think you have to remember that some of these were emergency projects, if you recall, in the time of doomsday. But you rightly pointed out that these emergencies, some of them at least, are no longer emergencies. They've been around for 5-10 years, and they may end up being around for another 5 to 10 years. So I do think that the take-or-pay gets a bad rap, and it's not always understood. I don't disagree with the World Bank in the sense that some of them are expensive. I mean, when you bring on an emergency plant, or in the analogy you use, when you don't have a car and you need to rent a car on the day, you're more likely to pay a very expensive rate than if you plan for it months ahead of time. But the World Bank also says something, and in fact, if we all listened to that interview from Mr. Laporte a few days ago, and he made some very interesting points about the sector, and I'm not going to go into all of that right now. But, he talked about the government's own economic electricity recovery plan, ESRP, that was started in 2019. And one of the things that is mentioned in that is a competitive tender process. And so it's unlikely that any investor who brings $500 million will not want to have some guarantee for getting paid back. I don't think you can fault any investor for that. And that's where a lot of these take-or-pays come in. But I think where our problem has been as a country is we have not ever followed a competitive least cost procurement plan that says, over the next 5 to 10 years, this is the amount of power we need, bid in, we'll take the least cost and go from there. Almost every project we've done has been on an ad hoc basis. And so you end up getting 5 or 6 unrelated projects at different costs, and that is why the cost has become so high, versus if we had done it in a much more systematic competitive procurement process point of view, we wouldn't be facing some of these costs.
Right. So I guess you've identified the route that we ran into these deals because we had an emergency. We didn't go through what would normally have saved us money, which is the competitive tender process. So we signed these deals, and they are take or pay. Now, the detail matters, because you're right. The idea of a take or pay in itself is not bad. It happens all around the world. But what we've noticed with the Ghana deals is that we agreed to pay for about 92% of their capacity, whether or not they give us power. All right. So, I mean, if their capacity is 200 megawatts, we're going to be paying them for 184 megawatts every month, whether or not we come to them for power. Now, that surely we didn't have to sign such a punitive deal. Could we not have agreed to something less? I mean, 40% seems to be the industry, average around the world. Could we not have gone for something closer to that?
We might have done, Kojo, but once again, remember, we were in an emergency period, and in an emergency period, all kinds of, whether it's justified or not justified, all kinds of justifications can be made. Remember, we had a deficit of power. And in that very short period of time, from 2013 to 2016, that deficit became, a surplus. And so, we should have done what you said. We should have looked at it very carefully. We should have taken our time. I can't speak for the government of the day. And I know there's some effort to do that now, but that is really why we are in the space we're in. There were all these emergencies, quote unquote. The terms and conditions were justified, whether they were or not. And so we did get really, even though we, in some respects, solved the problem of the deficit, we got saddled with some very, some expensive costs that we didn't need if we had gone through a competitive tender process. And this is something we've been talking about for years. I mean, if you read World Bank documents 10 years, 15 years ago, it's the same recommendation. We've got to go through competitive tender. We've got to go through a least cost procurement plan. When you are faced with emergencies because you're not planning, all kinds of justifications can be made. And I think now, after the fact, we are trying to restructure and renegotiate. But if you like, we're climbing, we're going upstream, we're climbing uphill. And that's really the challenge this government is facing.
Right. Now, in 2017, government raised issue with the cost of some of these deals and talked about renegotiating them. We're in 2023. Apart from AXA, who have renegotiated, and interestingly, they have now agreed to a 40%, what's it called? 40% rather than 92%. So apart from AXA, we still have deals at 92% with almost all the others. What is the holdup? Why has it been difficult for negotiations to happen between IPPs and the government?
So, Kojo, you might remember that a few years back, I think it was at the beginning of 2020 or thereabouts, either 2020, I believe that's correct. The government raised $1 billion bond to do some of this restructuring that you're referring to.
Yes.
And then they started the process. I think if you've been following it, there was a team out of the Ministry of Finance. It was part of the CSRP team that I just referred to, or effort to restructure and renegotiate. And I understand I know for a fact they made some progress, but now they've done the work, they've restructured, they've renegotiated at least the first couple of contracts. But that money that they set aside has been used for other things. So, it's one thing to say I'm going to restructure and renegotiate, but like all of these things, there always must be some sign of good faith that I want you to do these things. What am I giving you in exchange? And so here was the government who raised $1 billion, but then used it for other things. So couldn't go through with the restructuring and renegotiation that they had started 18 months prior.
Now, let's talk about how efficiently or otherwise these deals have actually been run. Because I suppose if we had been relying on them enough, there would be no concern about these excess charges. So how efficiently is Ghana utilizing these IPP arrangements? I want to raise the example of SEN, which on any given day is probably not providing any power to the grid. Very often, their daily contribution is zero. But we have a take or pay with them. So we're paying them anyway. Are we taking...
You're talking about Senate, I'm guessing.
Sen Power is the one I'm talking about.
Okay. I don't think that's quite correct. Sen Power is producing power right now. But, I mean, there are there are about 6 or 7 different IPPs. I would say the particular one that is closer to your description is Senate, which is doesn't produce as much power. But Senpower, on the other hand, is producing.
Forgive me, you are right. Forgive me, I misread that. It is Senate that I'm talking about. Senate, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the question there? I mean, I think there is, if there is an ability to restructure and renegotiate, obviously the government should try and do that. I mentioned that they had started that effort 3 years ago. They went quite far, but then they used the funds that they had raised for other things, so they couldn't complete the exercise. I mean, I think at this point, and I think, we've read in the papers that the IPPs, have been consistently asking for their monies to be paid with no result. But now with the IMF deal in place, I imagine that those expectations are raised, number one. But two, I mean, we know for a fact that the IMF and the World Bank are really working hard, World Bank perhaps more than IMF, to come up with this debt sustainability plan. I mean, it's well advertised. And it's, how do we pay our debts? How do we create a sustainable sector? And, understandably, the electricity sector is such a key part of that.
Yeah.
So, there's still need to try and restructure and renegotiate, but there are quite a lot of things that have to happen to make that successful. Right. And we touched on it a little bit already. I would say the first thing is just, what's our plan? Just a well-articulated strategic plan that is implemented. It's one thing to put it on paper. What's the alignment between our various, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Energy, to execute on these things? What's the institutional capacity to implement? We may have had a plan on paper, but we don't implement that plan that's on paper.
Right.
But I know the World Bank has identified this as an issue that needs to be addressed. And many of these things have been talked about in the past, and it's really very much about how do we create that sustainable sector that we can pay our bills. So I think the point is, over the last 10 years, a number of emergency projects have been brought in. They weren't brought in on a competitive tender basis. They're not least cost, so they are expensive. There is a need to restructure. Government made some initial efforts to restructure, but they couldn't go through with it. And we find ourselves in this place, not necessarily related to electricity, but it spills into it.
Yeah.
But, the sector is so important that if government doesn't find a way to address 50% of the country's requirement, we are going to be in trouble.
Right.
And these debts keep mounting. I mean, there was an article in the Graphic a few days ago. The number is around 1.6 billion. I mean, a year ago it was 1 billion. I mean, so this number is increasing, not decreasing. So there's got to be a way to mitigate that. And as I think we all know, the World Bank is working pretty hard to try and, working with government. But from our point of view, we've got to have a well-articulated strategic plan that is aligned, that is owned by our various sectors, that has we can actually implement. And I mean, let's face it, it's something that also we talk about all the time. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to have enough capacity, and I want to talk about that in a minute, but the weakest link in the electricity chain, it remains ECG and NEDCO. If our distribution losses are 30 to 40%, we're losing, the money just sort of evaporates into thin air. And if we don't find ways to fix that problem, create that institutional capacity to, collect revenue, reduce our losses, we will always be in this place. And then the final point, Kojo, I want to make, and I think is very important, is that, in the last 7 years, if you think back, 2016, I think peak demand was around 2,100 megawatts. This is an important point. And today we're probably around 3,500, 3,600. In other words, every year for the last 7 years, we've added about 200 megawatts of capacity. So, when you hear the World Bank talk about an investment climate, how will investors come in if, one, they're not getting paid, if the losses are so high, if that restructuring effort hasn't been put in place? So investment climate comes back to what's the plan, what's the way we get paid, what's that systematic way that there is a return for investors. And we need to create that environment.
I want to wrap with this in just the last minute that we have. You talked about the weak link being ECG and their inefficiencies, which is a big problem. If you do the calculation, about 50% of the power that they generate cannot be accounted for. You talked about 30% of it, not being traceable to customers. But then even the customers they have, some of them are defaulting and not paying. So about 50% in total cannot be accounted for, which is a problem. But even if they were to completely 100% fix their efficiency issues and collect all that is owed them, which at the last check was about 5.7 billion Ghana cedis, it would still not be enough to pay the almost $2 billion bill that we owe to the IPPs alone. Before you now have to think about fuel and all of these other things that they must spend money on. So even if we fix ECG, we still have a problem, don't we? What would your advice be, finally, to government on how to deal with these negotiations?
I think government is aware of what needs to be done. And once again, I mean, we've had the clues, certainly in the last weeks, with the various reports coming out. I mean, one of the things that has been the case is that we still have tariffs. We're not covering the cost of production as a whole. Partly some of it is losses, part of it is inefficiencies. And I know it's painful for consumers, but if we produce electricity and we don't sell it at the cost of production, we will never make progress. Yeah. And there's some cross subsidies in there as well that need to be taken care of. So we've got to get the governance of the system right. And I know, once again, these are things that are understood, they are known, and it's really very much about having the political will and institutional capacity to follow through on what we know we need to do. So, but when you ask me, I mean, government knows what to do. We've got to get our tariffs right. We've got to cover the cost of production. We've got to reduce our losses and fix ECG. We've got to very quickly get into a least cost procurement competitive tender regime. And If we don't do that, we will always get into these sort of emergency situations where we're scrambling to bring in power. We get them at terms that are not necessarily favorable to us. But it's got to be integrated, it's got to be well thought through, it's got to be coherent, and it's got to be accepted and owned by the agencies across the sector. And sometimes that breakdown, that lack of alignment is a real problem. But if that's not there, it's very difficult to implement properly.
I want to say a big thank you to you, Kwaku Awotri. That has been very enlightening. We appreciate your time and that overview that you've helped us with. Kwaku Awotri.
You're welcome, Kojo. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Kwaku Awotri was the CEO and board chair at VRA. Okay, we're about to kick the conversation into the next gear. We'll be engaging the Deputy Minister for Energy, who happens to be the Honourable Member of Parliament for 2nd D, Andrew Ejapa-Mensah. We'll also be speaking to the ranking member of the Finance, Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. He's the Honourable Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogu constituency, that is Mr. John Jinapor. In fact, he's on the phone right now. Mr. Jinapor, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
The conversation has already started, and we're certainly going to be hearing more from you. But I just thought, before we take a break, just a preliminary question that I have for you. These deals that we signed, are these actually the best terms we could have got at that time?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me quickly just correct this information you guys put out. You guys were categorical that the AXA deal has been renegotiated. Let me put on record that the AXA deal has not been renegotiated. The AXA deal elapsed or expired in June 2022. I have the AXA contract right before me here. And when you open the AXA contract, it does not refer even to the previous contract. This current contract was signed on the 3rd of October 2022, and it is titled Power Purchase Agreement between ECG and AXA. And so there was no renegotiation. The contract expired. Government had no obligation to sign this 370 megawatt plant. And so I just thought I should clear that.
Thank you for that.
2 is the issue of Senate, and Ms. Awotri dealt with it extensively. Senate has take-or-pay clauses, that is true. That contract was not executed under President Mahama. That contract was not executed under President Mahama. It predates President Mahama. You also mentioned SenPower. It has take-or-pay clauses. That contract predates President Mahama. TICO has take-or-pay clauses. It predates President Mahama. Asogli has take-or-pay clauses. It predates President Mahama. TT2PP has take-or-pay clauses. It predates President Mahama. The current AXA contract that you talked about, there are 2 contracts. The 370 megawatt contract for 15 years, another 205 megawatt contract for 20 years, signed under President Akufo-Addo. It has take-or-pay clauses. It is post-President Mahama. The LNG contract in Tema, 20 years, signed under President Akufo-Addo, has take-or-pay clauses. It did not happen under President Mahama. I just want to set this base so that everybody listening would appreciate that take-or-pay clauses, which we call in the industry as capital recovery costs, are part of power purchase agreements because energy sector projects are capital intensive. They have a long gestation period. They normally have a long tenure. It cannot be 1 year or 6 months, normally 5 years and above. And then it is market restricted. And that's the most important point for me.
Right.
Market restricted means that if you do not buy it as an off-taker, they cannot go and sell it anywhere. Given this circumstance and the fact that President Mahama assumed office at a time when we had a power deficit or energy deficit and we were in load shedding, the contracts that were executed, submitted to Parliament for scrutiny and approval, are the best contracts you can ever get as far as I'm concerned. Indeed, President Mahama ought to be commended for negotiating those contracts. And if I could quickly just give you just one example. The Ameri plant, a modular plant, brand new GE frame, ALN 200 plants, eventually we paid about $450 million in 5 years. That plant is now a legacy plant that belongs to the Republic of Ghana. We would use that plant for the next 20 years. And when you check the benefit in terms of revenues, you'll be making about $1.2 billion from that plant. It's only a president who has foresight, who has vision, who would decide that he will bring such a plant, let the plant generate power and pay for itself. And I have the availability and the production in terms of the Ameri plant. I can share the statistics with you.
Right.
It's not as if the Ameri plant came second.
If you don't mind, what I would like us to do, because my question was about the terms of the deal, I think we can all agree take or pay is not the enemy here. It happens everywhere in the world. But it's the terms that you signed for these particular deals under your President Mahama, and of course the ones that happened after the tenure of President Mahama that we are interrogating. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear more from John Jinapor. Andrew Ejapa Mercer has joined us in the studio. We'll be hearing from him as well. We'll get to the bottom of this and we'll get a clearer picture of what will happen to your lights in the future. Stay with us.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, both, chop, where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Haja, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selenium. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
We shouldn't have gone to that party.
Masa, my head is killing me. Is that your stomach?
Yes.
What did you eat?
I don't know.
Get rid of your gastric problems with number 10 liver salt. Number 10 gives you quick, effective relief from nausea, indigestion, heartburns, hangovers, and hyperacidity. And with different fruity flavors such as orange and lemon, it's a pretty tasty way to end an uncomfortable situation. Number 10 liver salt from Ernest Chemist, because everyone needs a chemist.
This advert has been vetted and approved by FDA.
What? It seems Royal Foam did not get the memo. Times are tough. Prices are going up. They're giving 10% discount, free pillows with every purchase. Hey, Royal Foam. Just when you thought all they manufacture are quality but affordable mattresses and pillows, they take it up a notch by being thoughtful in these hard times. Royal Foam has reduced their prices drastically. Buy a mattress, get a free pillow. Enjoy 10% discount instantly, nationwide. Take advantage. Enjoy Royal Foam. Enjoy the best.
Call Royal Foam today on 020-227-1000 for more information.
Royal Foam. Rest assured.
She's so close to the boss, they whisper. The PA is so lucky, they think. It's only 9 a.m. and you've already gone through 3 meetings, 12 phone calls, and a low-calorie breakfast. You only survive each week thanks to speed lunches and power naps. It makes you wonder, how many steps have I taken up the corporate ladder? But you've got this. Wake up your vim with Lucozade. Because with Lucozade, you always make it through. Lucozade. Restore your energy. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, close up. Ever fresh air, ever fresh air. Ever fresh air, ever close up.
On
new Close-Up Everfresh? Wait, Charlie, what's new?
It now has a triple fresh formula that cleans, protects, and cools. Thanks to a powerful combination of 1, a purifying gel, 2, an antibacterial mouthwash formula, 3, ice cool crystals that cleans, fights up to 99% bacterial, and intensely cools. Fresh breath keeps you protected and fresh long after brushing. Close-Up Triple Fresh formula cleans, protect, and cools. Close-Up Everfresh. Grab yours now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Have you ever been on a cruise? Imagine sleeping and waking up to the view of calm blue waters in the comfort of your cabin whilst visiting different cities like Santorini, Mykonos, Barcelona, Bahrain, Walvis Bay, and Venice, where for about 7 days you're treated like royalty on board a floating resort with food, drinks, entertainment, accommodation, and several relaxation and fun therapies. Our packages to the Mediterranean, Southern Africa, Greek islands, and the Persian Gulf are available every week. Talk to your cruise people today and learn about the cruising and how it impacts productivity, mental health, and your general well-being. For inquiries, call your cruise people on 0308 251 055 or visit yourcruisepeople.com.
Hey, Bra Kofi, your ceiling be smooth, bright and fine, Papa.
That's an understatement. It dey blink like 80 carats white gold. This be Interface plasterboard ceilings. Smooth, bright, and long-lasting. Everybody wey dey come here, they fill am. Where they direct them go Interface Limited for world-class quality.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274 999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook, Interface Limited GH. Instagram, interface.limited.
Bringing you a sound you can feel. Coffee in your cup and joy on the
It's the Super Morning Show on Joy, and today we're talking about energy, we're talking about power, we're talking about how to keep our lights on, because, well, the World Bank is raising a red flag that we have deals that are too expensive as a nation. I mean, we're in an IMF program, money no day, yet it turns out that our power sector is just going to become more and more unaffordable. How did we get here? Who put us in this situation, and why are we not getting out of it? Is our power sector being managed properly? Have we been committed to deals that are punitive and the cause of all these problems? Today we'll get to the bottom of it, because the right people to answer these questions are joining us for the conversation. You've already heard from Kwikwa Awotwe, former CEO and former chairman of Volta River Authority. He's given us a nice overview of the situation. Now we're getting into the details, and we're talking to John Jinapor, who you've already heard. He's the Honourable Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogu constituency. He's a member of the Finance, Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. You've also heard from Mr. Andrew you are about to hear from Mr. Andrew Ijapa Mercer. He's the Honourable Member of Parliament for Sekondi and Deputy Minister for Energy. All these details to come. First, though, Adansi Travels, the 2022 Best Tour Operator awarded by the Ghana Tourism Authority. I was there for that. Congratulations to them. They are inviting you to their 10th anniversary trip to Dubai. Yeah, it's a 10-day fun-filled trip, and it starts from the 10th of August. You see what they did there? It's a chartered Emirates flight to Dubai, and it's going to be a wonderful holiday experience like one you've never had before. There's the option of a 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star hotel to choose from, and you get guaranteed unforgettable fun at Dubai Desert with the legend Samini performing live at the camp. Now, it's a never-to-miss one-time trip, and the good news is that you can get in from as little as $1,650 US. Okay, that will cover your Emirates flight, hotel accommodation, visa, tours, airport transfer, and you even get some meals thrown in. Now, if you want to book, go to adansitravels.com or call 059 550 0817. Please note, now, apart from the chartered flight on the 10th till the 19th of August, you can also join the trip either on the 13th or the 15th of August. Adansi at 10. It's a vibe. Book now and feel the beauty of life with Adansi.
Well, it's Achedi Nkwan throughout this month of June and July. Access Bank's remittance promo is back to reward you for sending and receiving money from your loved ones. Get free airtime instantly and lots of exciting branded gift items when you send or receive 500 Ghana cedis and above through Access Africa, Western Union, MoneyGram, Ria, ZPay, UnityLink, and Express Pay. Receive monies directly into your Access Bank account, mobile money wallet, or over the counter. It is free when you receive your remittance into your Access Bank account. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The Access Bank Achedi Nkwan promo is here, and there is no limit to the gift you can receive. So you can receive, and receive. Don't be left out. Visit any of our 53 branches on weekdays and some selected branches on Saturdays for all your remittance transactions. Access Bank, your number one remittance bank. Access Bank, more than banking.
Listen, have you ordered lunch yet? No? Then I've caught you at the right time. Because here's what I want you to try today. Call our friends at Lunch Avenue. My goodness. Home-cooked meals, carefully selected fresh ingredients. When your delivery comes, it is the aroma that hits you first. Feel the love in every bite of excellently savored and sizzled food. If you're working in Accra or Tema, you can call Lunch Avenue on 0558 502 206 to order fresh, home-cooked and nutritious meals. Lunch Avenue, tasty, yummy and healthy.
The Ghana Revenue Authority announces for the information of the general public, especially importers, that with the passage of VAT Amendment Act 2022, Act 1082, all importers who qualify to register for VAT and have failed to do so will, from Tuesday, 6th June 2023, be charged an additional 12.5% on the customs value of the taxable goods they import. Now, the upfront payment is charged at importation on taxable goods imported in commercial quantities with a value of 200,000 and above. Kindly note that the upfront payment is not a new tax. It's a compliance tool to encourage persons required to register for VAT to register and file tax returns in order to bring parity in the administration of VAT. An importer who makes the upfront payment may be allowed to recover the amount when they register and file their returns as stated in Act 1082. We therefore entreat all importers who qualify to register for VAT to make arrangements to register at the nearest Taxpayer Service Center to avoid the upfront payment. Kindly contact GRA on toll-free 0800 900 110, WhatsApp 055 299 0000 or 0200 631664. Send an email to info@gra.gov.gh for further inquiries.
All right, let's get back to our conversation. Our guests, John Jinapor and Andrew Ejapa Mensah. Now, this is the big picture. About half of Ghana's capacity to generate power is provided by independent power producers. Many of the deals we've signed with these producers are what we call take or pay. What does that mean? It means that as long as the power producer's equipment is there and is available and ready and working, whether we take power from them or not, we pay them. Currently, on average, we're spending around about $15-16 million a month on each of them, whether or not we take power from these producers. That's the situation. And the bill has been racking up. Our sources in the current ongoing negotiations between ECG and IPPs tells us that the bill is almost at $2 billion. Please think about that. $2 billion. We've gone begging for $3 billion from the IMF. So we don't have that money. But we owe it. And they have given government an ultimatum. By the end of this month, if they don't pay 20% of that outstanding bill, they'll switch off. That's half of our capacity will switch off. We certainly don't want that to happen. So our conversation today is to figure out how to avoid that. What's the situation? How did we get here? And how are we getting out of it? All right? Churchill.
Well, so, Kojo, we have Andrew Ejapa Mensah here, who's the Deputy Energy Minister. Honorable Mensah, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Great. So I know you have the Energy Sector Recovery Program, okay, where you promised us from 2019 to 2023, your target was to put the power sector in a financial viability status. What's happened? Why are we here today having this conversation?
Well, let me say good morning to our cherished listeners and, of course, those who are watching us on your social media platforms, and my colleague John and my senior brother, Mr. Awotri. Obviously, the ESRP program was a 30-item program that needed to be implemented between 2018 and 2023. Failing which, a business as usual, not doing anything situation would have yielded a debt of about 12.6 billion US dollars. Yes. And so the interventions that were introduced was intended to significantly reduce that business as usual position to about 5.2 billion. As we speak, I know that we are in the region of about 6.1, 6.2. What it means is that the ESRP implementation has significantly impacted the outcome or the outlook that we're looking at to the level where we are today. Some of the 30-item program has been completed, some are in progress, and so that's where we are, and we are actually in the process of reviewing the ESRP document consistent with the IMF program so that the ESRP can be extended to 2026 to try and bring some sanity within the energy sector space. So yes, we are on course. We haven't achieved all the targets yet, but significantly you can see that the ESRP program, the introduction of the cash waterfall mechanism, natural gas clearinghouse, and several other initiatives that is outlined in the document, some on the power sector, some on the gas front, and also some regulatory, including the full cost recovery and several other items, have significantly impacted the position as we speak.
So I mean, I'm looking at the executive summary, for instance, and paragraph 3 says the ESRP is a roadmap of immediate, near-term, and medium-term actions needed to achieve government's aim to bring the sector into balance by the end of 2023, and a commitment by government to fund the annual sector shortfalls with sector stabilization payments from 2020 onwards until the sector is in a balance to prevent further accumulation of arrears.
Yes, Wesley, you're right. But of course, I have here with me the ESRP program implementation progress report, which covers the period May 2019 to 2021. Obviously, not all the parameters have been achieved, no doubt. But like I indicated, without the implementation of the energy sector review program itself would have resulted in a 12.6 billion deficit position. And if you look at the payments that Ministry of Finance has made directly to clear the gap, in 2021 alone, GOG payments to IPPs was 1.065 billion. This was through direct payments to the IPPs, MOF bonds that were issued, ESLA PLC bonds, and payments through the National Gas Clearinghouse system. So some work has been done. Like I said, most of the items are still ongoing. There's been a need for us to do a review, which is presently ongoing. And my expectation is that the new timeline that we've set ourselves in agreement with IMF and the World Bank would be achieved by 2026.
Yes, just by way of clarification on the 12 billion bit. So the 12 billion was an accumulation if it doesn't come in. So from 2018, for instance, according to the document, 2.7 billion. By end of 2023, an additional 2.5 billion. Over the period, 2 billion on the average would take it to 12 billion if nothing was done with, about all these challenges. Your government, in sourcing the ESLA bond, for instance, one of the things you told us was to actually clear the debts at the time. So is it a case of further accumulation of debt within your tenure?
Well, further accumulation of debt would mean that have we signed new contracts that then brings about that debt? Or this is the situation that the contracts that we contracted in the past has brought us to?
Or but that you did sign at least one new contract with AXA, and theirs expired completely.
Yeah,
and you signed another take or pay with them.
Well, the new AXA transaction is not a take or pay; it's a take and pay. Save that there is a commitment to dispatch about 40% of their capacity year on year,
which is
and also the tariff was reduced from the 13 cents or so to under 10. Now the rationale was simple.
Kilowatts
now,
per
yeah,
kilowatt hour.
The rationale was really simple. Yes, we've had excess capacity over the past 5, 6, 7 years. But is it static? Obviously not. So because your demand is growing, year on year, your excess capacity is reducing. And so ECG takes the view that, look, in 2026, 2027, there may be the need for us to add some capacity. And so if AXA had no decommissioning provisions in their transaction and the facility is here, can we renegotiate under the new guidelines that have been issued by the Ministry of Energy to the effect that going forward, any new power plants that is coming into Ghana would not be on a take or pay basis. There will be no government guarantees, no PCOAs, and that we're going to buy energy. Can we have a discussion with AXA that then allows us to do that within the new regime? And so that's exactly what they did. How anybody faults that will really come as a surprise to me, because you see, Kojo, look, I've been on several platforms with my good friend John, and the contention from the NDC side has always been that, look, there's no excess capacity, or that we signed the best deals ever. Over the weekend, thankfully, the IMF we've challenged them consistently. And when I was driving in, I heard my very respected senior brother, Mr. Awachi, make the point that there was some deficit between 2012, 2014, that then necessitated the need to bring in some emergency power. With all due respect, the data does not support it at all. Okay, the problem that we encountered between 2012 and 2014, and you recall that the president at the time told us that there was a damage to the West African gas pipeline, okay, which had stopped gas supply, which is a fuel, from coming into Ghana. And so really, what we needed to do was to procure alternative fuel to power the plants. We didn't have the money. And if you permit me, I'll show you a World Bank document. I believe, Winston, I've shared this with you before. That clearly shows the installed capacity pre-2015, the capacity added since 2015, and the peak demand. And you will see clearly that there was no deficit in power generation.
If you can
in fact,
share that with us, we'll put
please,
it on our social media.
In fact, all the power that, and of course, this is the raw data. You can interrogate it. That doesn't mean that, for example, Ameri, which was added post 2015, was never used. But if you look at the data, what it shows is that all the capacity that was added post 2015, in 2015 we did not consume any. In fact, we didn't consume all the capacity that was in place already. We did not consume any in 2017. We did not consume any in 2018. We did not consume any in 2019. It was only in 2020 that our peak demand began to eat into the capacity that had been added between 2015 and 2020. That said, it doesn't mean, for example, that car power was not used, because you had a gas take or pay from the Sankofa field that then required you to turn on car power and turn off some other power that ordinarily you would have consumed. But of course, not turning on car power would have meant you incurring the take or pay obligations on the car power side, the power side, and also the take or pay obligation on the gas side. So it is the net off of the capacity that you had and the capacity that you added that is really going to tell you the story as to whether there was excess capacity or not.
Okay.
And the data is clear. I've heard the argument by my friends in the NDC that, look, needed to look into the future and all sorts of things. All well and good. But is it the case that that futuristic view that you took brought cost to the state for which we are bearing the brunt today or not? It's a simple matter. And that is the issue that the IMF has put to bed.
Before we get
without
back to
any dispute whatsoever.
John Jinapor, let me just find this out. So the ESLA bonds, I mean ESLA for instance, how much has been accumulated and how much has been used to clear the energy sector debt? You know that?
I don't have the data immediately, but of course, I mean, there's some provisions, sections in this document that deals with it. If you give me a minute, because that clearly is administered by the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, while you're looking
and they issue what you call it, annual reports to Parliament on a year-by-year basis. But the ESLA has various components. It is not all of it that goes into paying the shortfall in the energy sector. There's some that goes into the petroleum stabilization fund. There's some that goes into national electrification. There's some that goes into public lighting. And of course, if you look at the reports that are submitted to Parliament on a year-by-year basis, you would see whether that assertion, and I've heard over the weekend on social media that the finance minister has been diverting ESLA. The proof, I don't know where it's coming from. But I mean, the issues are very clear.
Let me ask you this. In 2021, we went to the bond market for 1 billion. Okay, to, among other things, see if we could buy back Sen Power. Where is that money? Where is the 1 billion?
Well, I'm not in a position to confirm, but my understanding is that the Sen Power transaction had some issues. Bank of Ghana, there were some government obligations that the government, Ministry of Finance, owed to Bank of Ghana, and so they used that money to defray that obligation. And so there was no money available at the time that they concluded the Sen Power negotiation to buy them off.
So we use the money to pay Bank of Ghana rather than...
That's my understanding, yes.
Interesting. Okay. All right, listen, let's bring in John Jinapor, because before the break, Mr. Jinapor, I was interested in the terms under which some of these take-or-pay deals were signed. You gave us a long list of deals that were not signed under John Mahama. So let's speak to the ones that were signed under President Mahama when you were Deputy Power Minister. 92% guaranteed dispatch. Why?
Those that I just gave you are all 92% dispatch.
I understand, but let's talk to the ones you signed.
Pardon?
I understand that, but let's speak about the ones you and your government signed.
Japan says that in 2013, it is not true that there was a deficit. Honorable Japan, I refer you to the 2013 Energy Commission report, page 4, paragraph 1.2. The corresponding peak demand was 2,556. Dependable capacity, 2,267. This is from Energy Commission, official document. So please, it's not an opinion. These are established facts that the capacity at that time was not enough. And it just quickly comes back to you. Today, you claim that you have an installed capacity of more than 5,000. A peak demand of just about 3,500. So there is an excess of 2,000. And yet you are signing 500 megawatts of additional capacity. It completely defeats your analogy. Because if you look at your argument, then you don't need to be signing these new capacities that you are signing. Has those excess capacities suddenly vanished? Even late 2022, you were telling us that our capacity was too much. And yet in October, you have signed this new deal. And not just that, you signed a new one of 205. So it defeats this your point. And then the cost, Ivan, let's deal with the cost. He says that the AXA deal was 13 cents. Is that not it?
Yes. It's
and
now
that day, the
10,
new
10.
one, they've negotiated it to 10.
Under 10, yeah.
You bring a plant during emergency for just 5 years, at 13 cents. You are not in emergency. The plant has been fully paid because it was amortized. When you are determining capacity, you are looking at the capital recovery cost because you estimate that the developer would have invested some amount to 13. Now it has been amortized. You go and sign for 15 years. And anybody who has done some energy finance listening would appreciate what I'm saying. And you bring it to 10% and you say you've done better. Where is that better? Where is that better? First of all, do you need that capacity? Do you need it for 15 years? A plan that was signed for 5 years, we came under serious criticism. Today you are doing 15 years at 10, and you think it's so good or so much. You talked about the money they borrowed, 1 billion. That was in 2018 when they came to Parliament. 2018, they told us that 1 billion of Eurobond was supposed to refinance the energy sector. We approved the money. Parliament gave you approval. You didn't even come back to Parliament to seek a variation. You take that money and you go to use it for something else. And you think that we should praise you for what you are doing. But you see, the most important thing is that now there's data. We are no more talking of projections. And I expected the IMF country director to do a good job. Because when you say it is too expensive, relative to what? I have a document here and I'll share with you. Let me just give you the title of the document. Even if you Google, you will find it, because in these days, it's very easy. This is a document from the African Development Bank titled Comparative Analysis of Electricity Tariffs in ECOWAS member countries. When you read that document, Ghana's bulk generation tariff is one of the lowest, despite the fact that we have a lower hydro to thermal component. Ghana's end user tariff is one of the lowest. In fact, that document confirms that Ghana's bulk generation tariff is lower than Cote d'Ivoire. And so for the IMF country director to just say it's expensive, relative to what? And I have another document from PricewaterhouseCoopers, where they did an analysis of a plant like Amerit in relation to other plants in the sub-region. It is not the most expensive. And I can give you that data, I'll share with you. So for an IMF country director to veer into this area, he should be providing data. You can't just make a stupid statement and expect that we'll take that hook, line, and sinker. We would analyze the issues and deal with them. You know they've been talking about figures, and I heard that Japan mentioned 12 billion. Fortunately, at the finance committee, when Mr. Kenoforeta appeared before the committee, I insisted that we needed all these payments. I've shared that Excel sheet with your producer, and so he can give it to you. Total payment in the energy sector, and I mean total payments, both petroleum, power, everything, is $6.1 billion. From 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2022, 2021, all these years, 6 billion. It's not 12 billion. Now, if you look at the Excel sheet properly, fuel supply alone is over 2 billion. This is fuel supply, over 2 billion. And these payments are in relation to gas and other related costs. If you read the 2022 Energy Commission report, in 2014, we were spending $600 million to import light crude oil. 600. Today, in 2021, we are spending zero on import of light crude oil. So when you do the average, it means that on gas, total fuel, whether take or pay or not, we are spending 200 million. I prefer spending 200 million to 600 million. When you are doing this analysis, you just don't do accounting analysis. You do economic analysis and take into consideration the opportunity cost. But if you did not have Sankofa, it meant that yes, you won't pay Sankofa with any guarantee, but you will spend $600 million to buy light crude oil. And if you look at the data from the PIAC report, Sankofa has been ramping up and supplying gas. So these payments you are seeing, a chunk of them is based on actual gas supplied. A chunk of them is based on actual power supply. And you sum it up, Kojo. You sum it up, and I'm happy with the way you sum it up, that the IPPs are threatening to do what? To shut up. And that you don't want it. In the same breath, others say, we don't need the IPPs. If you don't need the IPPs, and you have your own power, why are you concerned that when the IPPs shut up, you have load shedding? That should tell you something. So if you are spending 2 billion on what we call power produced or not, the first thing every serious government would do is to tell us plant by plant, what amount of power did they produce? What was the cost of production? How much was ECG able to collect? What is the shortfall? And then you account for what we call a reserve margin. What is the cost of the reserve margin? Because the reserve margin is not factored into the tariff computation. When you net off, then you can be talking of excess capacity. But when you put all these figures together and just come and tell us 2 billion, whether you consume or not, you pay. Excuse me, with the greatest of respect, then you don't understand the sector.
So, Mr. Jinapor, if you don't mind, you see, what I'm interested in is the terms of the agreements that you signed, you and your ministry signed when you were there. Okay, I'm interested in those specific terms. Okay, where you agreed to, and I appreciate that you were not the only ones who signed such deals, but I'm interested in your rationale. You agreed to 92% guaranteed dispatch under take or pay. You also gave them government guarantees on top of that. Okay, and my question is this: at the time, what went into these decisions? Why did you feel that this was the best deal for Ghana at the time?
So let me take a plant and just do the analysis so that your listeners will appreciate it. Take Ameri. You do about 5 cents. 5 cents for 5 years, the plant becomes your property for another 20 or 25 years. That 5 cents is not the most expensive. Indeed, it is the best deal you can ever get. I prefer to pay that 5 cents and own the plant after 5 years, because Ameri was available for about 85%. And I have the data. So if they're available for about 85%, it means that they are generating that power. And if they are generating that power, it is paying for itself. And today that plant is a property of the Republic of Ghana. President Mahama deserves commendation for that foresight. Currently, an Honorable Japai is on the line. Tema LNG, it was signed by this government. Indexed to crude oil. It's 100% take or pay. 100%. Not 90%. He's there. I have the contract here. The whole document. And I can give you the formula. So it is not new. And the terms are the best of terms. Moreover, these terms were submitted to Parliament for scrutiny. We had over 100 members of Parliament from the NPP side. In fact, they seconded some of these agreements. So clearly, to say that they were too expensive, it doesn't make sense to me. Too expensive relative to what?
Well, I mean, if government has been able to negotiate a deal with AXA for, in fact, it's not even take or pay anymore. There's no government guarantee, and it is 40% guaranteed dispatch. This is AXA, the same AXA. So, I mean, obviously, it is possible under negotiation to get a better deal.
So let me deal with this analysis because it's flawed. That AXA plan has been paid for. So you don't even need 40% take or pay. In fact, that for me is a mark of incompetence to go and agree with AXA that having paid off the plant in that 5 years. Today, whether AXA, whether we like it or not, like you are saying, once AXA says we are available, whether we take it or not, based on this same agreement, we'll pay 40% of that cost.
It's still better than 92%.
And I'm telling you, you did not renegotiate. Government had the option to decide that we don't even want AXA because the contract has expired. Is that not the case? The contract has expired. You contract it in emergency, which means that you need it urgently. And when you need it urgently, you pay a premium. That is the first thing. Two, do we need AXA or not? The excess capacity all of a sudden has vanished. You bring AXA, and you're not doing 5 years, because you are doing 15 years. There's an issue of a time value of money there. So how can you compare a 5-year contract to a 15-year contract? The duration is not even the same. So this analysis is completely flawed. Why did they not do a competitive tender?
Right.
That's the question you should ask yourself. This government issued a statement.
Let's get answers to that question you're raising, Mr. Jinapor, because Mr. Mensah is right here. You've heard Mr. Jinapor.
That they will no longer do things.
You've heard Mr. Jinapor. He's asking a direct question to you. You haven't renegotiated. You've signed a new deal. And he says you didn't even need to put in 40%, guaranteed dispatch because we own the thing already.
We didn't own AXA. In fact, if you listen to John, it saddens me even more that they contracted AXA for 5 years for AXA to pay for the entirety of the cost of the plant, and they were at liberty to take it out of Ghana anywhere else in the world to go and operate it for another 25 years at a profit, obviously, to AXA. Is that what he's suggesting?
So
and it shouldn't make you even more sad.
So we didn't own
See,
it.
no, we don't own it. We don't own AXA. We don't. The only plant that was a BOOT was Ameri, which of course, the brouhaha that degenerated. It's not for me to repeat here, but Ameri, since the contract expired, if you like, the build, own, operate, and transfer transaction was consummated and the facility was transferred. It's still sitting in Abuaze. It's never been turned on before till date. You are aware? In fact, the government plans to take it to Kumasi, Awomaso, so that it can help in stabilizing the grid in the middle part of Ghana. But you see, curiously, how anybody else doesn't understand the sector, including the World Bank, but my good friend John Jinapor, is surprising.
But he does make the point that at the time,
See,
it's not like there were comparatively cheaper deals.
But I've said to you that, and I've shared the data with you, that the data that I have does not support this deficit argument. In any event, the Energy Commission document that he makes reference to does not include Bui. Bui was commissioned in 2013, and so if you add Bui, that clearly takes away the argument that there was a deficit that needed to be filled. In any event, what was the basis of Mr. Mahama, then the former president's assertion that gas shortages from Nigeria is the reason or part of the reason why we're having electricity outages? That obviously is fuel. You had alternatives that you could buy to power the plants. You just didn't have the money.
Yeah.
Again, could you this fixation on Tema LNG? One, yes, we contracted the Tema LNG facility to expand the scope of our gas base. Obviously, to help in reducing our dependence on other fuels, okay? Because gas is at all times cheaper than LCO, DFO, and HFO. But the truth of the matter is that, as we speak, Ghana hasn't incurred one dime on LNG in Tema because LNG has never been delivered. So let it not be said that because we signed a take-or-pay agreement in the LNG space has led to the debt situation that we find ourselves in today. What the IMF country director said was clear.
World Bank country
director. It's important that we clarify.
Yeah.
Was clear that the economic situation that we find ourselves in today is partly attributable to the huge cost that we as a country have incurred in contracting power generation plants.
Right.
Fact.
I absolutely hate to do this.
For my friend
that our time is up. I'm so sorry to do this because we do have more to discuss. This conversation cannot end here. It's too important for us to wrap up here and leave it. So we will be returning to this. We will be getting our guests back. We will be interrogating these issues and putting your questions to them. Trust us, we will do that for you. But right now, we've got to say a big thank you to Andre Japamesa, Honorable Member of Parliament for 2nd, Deputy Minister for Energy, John Jinapor, Honorable Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogu, and Member of the Finance, Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. We want to thank them both for their time. We will return to this. But there's more on the Super Morning Show. We had a conversation about 5G with Ericsson. Your internet is about to get better. Stay tuned and find out how after these. You're welcome back. Now, we've been talking about 5G all morning because our friends from Ericsson are here to tell us about the big plans they have to bring this new service to Ghana. Our guest this morning is Fadi Faroon. Now, he's the president for Ericsson's Middle East and Africa division. Fadi, it's great to have you. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. Many thanks for having me here.
Now, it's obviously exciting. 5G is the new product Ericsson is bringing to the market. First of all, explain to us what is the difference between 5G service and what we have available in Ghana today?
Sure. I mean, number one, 5G is a standardized technology, right? That ourselves and other vendors collaborate with the service operators that you would find here in Ghana to deploy it. Of course, in Ghana, we are already up to the 4th generation of cellular, known as 4G or LTE to some. And it's enabled you, especially if you have a smartphone, to enjoy different types of, data-related services, watching YouTube or browsing the internet, sending emails, sending photos to each other and whatnot. Now, with the 5th generation of cellular coming in, obviously the performance and capabilities will be augmented, right? From a consumer perspective, typically we look at the magnitude of increase of speed, as well as what we call in the industry latency, meaning the time it takes to actually get the reaction between the nodes, to be extremely high performing. And that will enable us, in conjunction with getting more advanced devices, and maybe in the future, glass format kind of devices, to enjoy new services which we call could be augmented reality or virtual reality. So let's say suppose you go to a football match, for instance, and you put on in the future with the 5G enabled glasses, you could actually see different types of animations popping up on top of what you're seeing in real life, giving you data on the match, showing you maybe the history of the goals that this particular player has done and others. So those are typical consumer-related applications, but they will take a few years because we have that dependency on the devices that I mentioned. But another very big and important, I would say, addition, once 5G is available in any country, is the ability for the CSPs, the service providers, to offer home broadband over wireless. Typically today we are accustomed to getting maybe a fiber connection, but obviously that is not available everywhere, right? So for me to enjoy in my own home broadband capabilities, so I can surf my laptop and do what I need to do for productivity, entertainment, or maybe to watch TV streaming as well, I need a very solid and high capability performing broadband. And that is what we call fixed wireless broadband, which 5G will offer the population. And thirdly, which is, I would say, probably a pivotal approach for this technology, is the ability to target enterprise and small, medium enterprise, but also manufacturing plants, mining plants, ports, basically any industry which is in the process of digitizing. Once you bring in 5G connectivity, and because of this low latency I mentioned earlier, you are able to suddenly have the option to monitor and manage assets in real time. So in a port, typically we look at use cases of cranes that are lifting the containers from the ship. Imagine if you can bring automation to that to increase productivity, but also to increase safety. So there are tons of examples in such an industrial environment that would benefit really the companies. And we are doing different types of proof of concepts around the world with our partners and customers on 5G.
Now, this is part of a bigger strategy for Ericsson, isn't it? You have a goal of pushing and promoting innovation and technology across the continent. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Ericsson has been present for more than 140 years now. We are a technology company, and for us, innovation is frankly what makes us succeed, right? It's the foundation of everything we do. We have a major belief in investing in research and development and bringing the best products that we can to the market with the talent that we have in the teams. For us, we've been actually present in Africa for more than 100 years. Imagine that. Of course, at that time, it was a different type of technology, right? More on the fixed phone. But we are very, very proud of that heritage, and we're very proud of the partnership and the collaboration and the potential that we see in this continent. We believe digitization in general and information and communication technology, ICT, will contribute deeply to the development of the countries of this continent. We have research with external parties that demonstrate that once you increase mobile broadband penetration by 10%, you see actually an economic growth that ranges between 0.6% up to 2.8% in the countries. It's quite a fabulous, impact. And we all know why. Obviously, saving time. I can maybe sell some of my crop wirelessly. I can enable my children to access some self-learnings over YouTube or whatnot. So it is, of course, a fantastic catalyst. And we know in Africa, we always say mobile first, right? So the culture of going to the mobile first is very well implemented here. We also know that, in this continent, it's really the cradle for innovation when it comes to mobile financial services. The whole aspect of allowing people to get access to a wallet wirelessly. They might not even have a bank account today, allowing them to be able to transact money between friends and families or pay for services. This was innovated in Africa, and it's, of course, spread everywhere, including here in Ghana, where it's mainly successful. So we are super, pleased to be able to be a contributing party to our customers here and support the population to thrive and open opportunities for all types of society.
If you just joined us, we're talking to Fadi Faron from Ericsson, and he's getting us all excited about the brand new 5G service that they are spearheading here in Ghana and across the continent. It's going to be faster, more robust internet to a device near you. And we're learning how they plan to achieve it. Fadi, it's not going to be easy. We have a country that has its own limitations. We've got power supply issues, we've got connectivity issues. How is Ericsson intending to overcome all of these in providing this all-important service to every Ghanaian?
Thank you. Very good question, Kojo. I think that we see always a set of challenges all over the world, frankly, depending on the geography, when you deploy any type of technology, especially one where you have requirements in terms of coverage for a certain percentage of the population. You have requirements on how strong the network service and performance will be. If I take some examples that relevant maybe to Ghana, we look at rural areas, right? We want to ensure that everybody has access to the internet. And as you know, it's not always very simple to achieve that because the population might be dispersed in the rural areas. You might not have enough density. It might be difficult to access some of the territories. It might not make commercial sense. So these are the type of solutions we have now come up with an alternative, which is our solar site solution. We call it the rural site solution. Basically, it is a way for our customers to more cost efficiently set up a tower made out of steel, basically, which is a bit of a departure from what we typically do, where you have to build up a cement foundation and wait for the cement to dry and, bigger kind of a civil works engagement. But this one is a bit much more easier to install, completely and fully managed by pure solar power. And all of the active equipment that is really needed to get this site up and running is in an enclosure inside of it. These type of solutions then would make our customers enabled to have a much more, let's say, cost-conscious approach and enable coverage in rural as well.
Fadi, Ghana is going through its own digitalization revolution. We're seeking to put everything in the digital space. How does Ericsson's vision plug into Ghana's?
At Ericsson, we are absolute major believers of the positive power of information and communication technology. For sure, we are obviously part of this industry. We're part of that vision. We see also great strides in how ICT can improve on the big question of climate change, how we believe ICT solutions could probably resolve up to 15% of our carbon emissions around the world. So there's a lot of good that comes with technology. We are fully supportive of Ghana's vision on how digitization will bring economic prosperity and enable everybody to be in an inclusive society. So we are supporting in multiple dimensions. Of course, our biggest focus and support always comes to our dear customers in the country. We support them with all types of solutions and services. But we're also engaging with different government authorities, in particular regulatory bodies. I can give two examples. One, which is the Smart Africa Digital Academy, SADA, whereby we have done a collaboration with them late last year, in fact, to support over 100 senior public policy officials who work with this type of policy and spectrum and all of these areas related to telecommunications, to give them an education about what is coming up in new technology. Of course, machine learning, artificial intelligence, 5G among themselves. So that helps build a foundation of knowledge that will help the regulatory as well take the right decisions forward for the country. Another collaboration we are honored to be participating in is we have a memorandum of understanding with the African Telecom Union, the ATU as well, where we have together published a set of recommendations that again will allow the regulatory to give the best conditions when it comes to release of spectrum and other related regulations so that the operators here can prosper, and obviously all of the end users like yourself can have access to great wireless services.
Well, you heard it here first. 5G is coming to Ghana, and Ericsson is powering it. Of course, we've had the benefit of a briefing from Fadi Faron on how it's all going to unfold. Before you leave, why don't you give us some timelines? When am I going to be able to access this wonderful, magical 5G network on my device?
Wow, that's a great question. But I would leave that question to our service providers, our customers. They are the ones who operate in Ghana. They always own the license. It is their plan to launch it, so I'll leave it for them to answer that. We are here just supporting them with everything we can do with the technology and the talent we have.
Fadi Faron, that's a future to look forward to. Thank you very much for your time with us.
Thank you very much. Take care.